Welcome to Super Gaming Best Friends for Tuesday, May 7th, 2013. I'm Josh Lee. I'm your host and also just a regular guy. I'm just because I'm a host doesn't mean I'm special. Justin Lacey's special, though. He's the editor-in-chief of HorribleNight.com, or as we like to call it, Ho Night.
I like Ho Night. I got to get that.
Can you put apostrophes in URLs?
I mean, you should be able to start now so we can get it because we'd be the first one.
Who do we call? Who's the committee?
Al Gore.
The IEEE committee?
I don't know them.
The Web Consortium? That one sounds right.
I think you go to something awful anymore.
You can. They got some hot deals on hosting and buying domains and stuff.
That's how I got started.
Ho Night. HoNight.com is our. No, it's not. HorribleNight.com is the web address. Ethan Moses is a writer, a streamer, a grabber. He's a listener. He's a lover, hugger for sure. On HorribleNight.com. How's it going, Ethan?
Hey, I'm doing really good. That I appreciated all those descriptive words you used for me.
It's better than special.
You didn't include cook?
I haven't seen you cook, but I've seen you do all those other things.
Well, I'm not really a cook, but I just, I wouldn't
Taco
mind
chef?
hearing it. Maybe it would motivate me to actually cook.
Wait, do you make a mean taco?
Yeah,
I know you like to eat them.
Taco, actually. Yeah, you know what? I'd love to make you tacos one day if we could.
That would be great.
Maybe set that up. We'll do that.
That'd be a good trick. We get them in the country then.
You'll have to, or you would have to ship them. Can you ship food internationally? Is this something you can do? For those of you not in the know, Ethan is currently stationed in Germany. It's a term.
Stationed. I am totally stationed.
And then,
I am I am the only person in between us and like an imminent threat from anything. I think you can ship food. I don't know if taco though is the most appropriate food to ship. I think there's too many.
I don't think it has a problem.
Flash freeze.
If any food
Dry.
would have little problem getting across the border, it'd be tacos.
Yeah, I don't think it would be an issue for customs, but I'm talking about, is it going to be safe and delicious? Those are the main requirements.
Well, the delicious remains to be seen, even with this chef.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, dude. Let me get my taco in your mouth. Okay.
No.
Yes.
You'll know what I'm saying here. No, a taco's got to be fresh. You got to get that taco, got to get that hot meat in that hot shell. I don't think shipping that overseas would be a good thing. That's just me. I'm old fashioned.
Hey, moment of truth. Have you guys ever reheated Taco Bell?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was I in college? Yes.
Only ever in what about past college? Have you done it?
Yeah.
What's the last fast food that you reheated?
White Castle.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like a McDonald's breakfast, like a potato cake.
Ooh.
Oh, even hot cakes. Hot
no,
cakes,
they're already gross when they're fresh.
I think hot cakes are made in the microwave anyway, so I don't have a problem.
Well, how do you not finish your hot cakes?
I get distracted. I'll fall back asleep.
Weird.
I wouldn't. See, I don't want to cook for you, dude. I feel like I'll put a big plate of tacos in front of you, and you'd find something better to do. So
I would ask you if I was allergic to it and move on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I did a chicken burrito from Taco Bell. Actually, was the last thing that I microwaved, but it's been a while. I don't normally.
A week?
2. No, 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks. So this is a show where we talk about video games sometimes and a bunch of other stuff other times. And I want to talk about something real quick here. Justin, I made you a White Russian before we went on air here. Or as they actually call it Anna Kournikova because it's got the skim milk in it. Only because I ran out of half and half. I'm not that kind of guy.
Okay.
I wouldn't normally
I wasn't judging.
Have that or drink that. But I've been on a kick. And then I just found out that you like those too. And it's not one of those things where like people either think that you just watched The Big Lebowski or you're an asshole. Like they think that you're like too good for regular drinks or just a whiskey.
The two types of people that enjoy White Russians.
Yeah, like there's a level of people like mixed drinks, and then there's the people that like White Russians. It's I don't think it's the same kind of person, but I mean, just picture the people that you've seen order them. You probably wouldn't hang out with them, right?
Every time I order one, I always get there's somebody in the group that gives a surprised reaction.
Right.
And I don't.
Right.
I can never tell if it's condescending or not.
Okay. Right. So I ordered one.
Are you gonna drink that in front of all of us?
Really?
Yeah.
I ordered a White Russian from a White Russian last week. I wasn't thinking about it. It was really awkward because he didn't know what it was. So he was a young guy, probably the first half of his 20s, and this was at a brew house, Scotty's, if you know that one. And I don't think they get a lot of orders for these. He had never gotten an order for one of these, and he'd never seen or heard of one. So when I ordered it...
What is wrong with our Russian youth?
Yeah, I know, right? When I ordered it, he just looked at me kind of funny, and I had already been... I mean, I joke around. I joke around with servers and stuff.
You're an asshole.
I go out. No. I had to try to have a good time.
He's not Big Lebowski. He's an asshole.
I'm like,
so you haven't recently watched Big Lebowski, gotcha.
No. Well, I have, but that's not. Yeah. Okay. So, but wait, that's not why. That's not why. Somebody else ordered one when I was out a couple weeks ago, and I said, "Hey, I'll have one of those. I'll have what he's having." That kind of thing. I wasn't trying to sleep with him or anything like that. So I
turned down,
but I did. I was trying to sleep with this Russian guy. No, I go, hey, can I get a White Russian? And we just had some beers, and I needed to switch it up, and I wanted something desserty, and it's kind of a sweet desserty drink. And he stops and he looks at me for a second, and he's just doing this like, and then he figured it out without me having to say anything. He got it, and I think maybe he recalled that he'd heard it before or something, but he goes, he's like, please tell me, what is White Russian? And so I explained the ingredients that's in it, and he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, because I am White Russian. And I was like, no, if I was ordering you, that's not how I would have done it. And
then a wormhole
and
opened.
Yeah. And he was a pretty fair complected dude, and he was like bright red after this little exchange, and he thought, I think, that I was hitting on him. It was awkward. It was a really good drink, though.
I was gonna say
it was made really well.
That's what mattered, because
he didn't make it. The bartender made it. He was just a server, but yeah.
It's a very hit or miss drink. They either nail it or just completely screw it up. I was like, I didn't want coffee. Like usually they overdo the Kahlua or.
Yeah. Well, I see. I'm like a 50-50 or 1-to-1 ratio on those.
This is good. Okay.
So, but anyways, that was really awkward, but awesome at the same time.
Sorry he turned you down.
Yeah. What's up with you guys? Did you guys go see Iron Man 3 this weekend?
Not yet.
Can you even go see that, Ethan? Do they have?
Yeah. They've got an American
Iron Mans?
theater, actually within 20 minutes of me. I was just way too hungover this weekend, so.
Did it open?
It wasn't going to happen.
I thought it opened internationally, like earlier.
Well, not everywhere. I think it was like Australia and somewhere South America or something that got it like a week early. And I thought everywhere else was getting it later. Anyways,
I only heard great things.
It was awesome.
Did you like 2?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't.
You did?
That was not my favorite of. That was probably my least favorite of all of the newer Marvel films.
All right, I'm with you.
The Phase 1 stuff. This one.
I'm glad they don't really like outwardly promote that to the public.
Right. Yeah. Kevin
Marvel
Feige says it. Yeah, but this was better than 1 and 2 combined. I mean, I thought it was awesome. I really, really liked it, and it was kind of like a. It was kind of a darker. You could probably tell from the trailer. There was like a darker kind of tear Tony Stark down kind of vibe going on to it, but it was funnier than any of the other stuff that they've done. It was hilarious, like constantly. It was just really good. You know, some of his one-liners were not the best, but then there are others where I was the only one in the theater laughing. I'm like, did you guys not get that? That was hilarious. But yeah, it was really fun. It was good.
I hopefully we'll see that this weekend. I don't want to let it get too far out there.
Yeah, definitely go see that one in the theater because there's it had definitely hit maximum explosions, and stuff crumbling, stuff like something would blow up and it would make other stuff fall apart. like the biggest things.
Was it using
were
the
just
Frostbite
falling.
engine?
There weren't. What?
Was it using the Frostbite engine?
You know what? That Battlefield 4 trailer and Iron Man 3, I think we're using the same tech. So whatever that says.
Ethan, have you gone to the theater in Germany yet?
No, not yet, but you can drink in it, which is
All of them?
really enticing.
They're starting to do that. The IMAX I go to on the south side is opening a little bar in the
Sweet.
like I've
You
only
can take
seen
the drinks
not?
into the
like
seats?
I've only seen bars at the art cinema type places or the State Museum, but the actual general theater is getting a bar, and
It's about time.
because we went to the concession area, and the guy that was giving us our concessions was a little bit older, but also like a really good salesman, because we were like, oh, we'll take 2 bags of Twizzlers. He's like, I'll give you a special deal, 72 for $72. And we're like,
What's it going to take me to get these Twizzlers in your hand?
It was just
Why are you wearing a trench coat, guy behind the counter?
Yeah.
Want to check out
Why
my
are you leading me into
candies?
this van? This is just wanted some Twizzlers.
So apparently he took the job in anticipation of that bar opening because he's really a bartender. And we're just kind of like, there are other bars you could work at.
Yeah, I'll have a scotch and goobers, please.
Mix those together.
Yeah. So
Oh,
that's
man.
cool. I wish that was a thing everywhere. What?
Do bartenders give you deals like that? Like, are you sure he was a bartender? Like maybe
He
a
was
used
just
car
really-
salesman? Or maybe he had a lemonade stand before this?
Well, you go to
Like-
these concession stands, you expect the jaded high schooler that's barely going to say a word
Right,
to you.
right.
And we weren't like making eye contact yet. And all of a sudden he's like Mr. Personality. And we're like, what? Where are we? What is going What do you mean you're going to have a bar
Yeah.
here? What?
You know, man, that would suck. It's one. Have you guys ever worked in like any kind of place that serves food where you go home and you smell like the food, like a pizza place? You smell
Yep.
like pizza or whatever.
I go to White Castle.
But then when you leave, you probably smell like. But that's like the stink from a movie theater is gonna be popcorn and piss, like that. The smell that comes out of the movie theater carpet. And that's the kind. It doesn't wash out. It's going to be in your hair. It's going to be so. Yeah, those people are always going to be disgruntled because they know, like, as soon as they leave, and this is all they can think about. They're going to hate movies. They're going to hate popcorn, snacks. That's terrible. But if they could drink, that would really help. I don't care if we get to drink. I think the people that work there should be able to get to drink. I think we would get better service if they could drink.
I can't argue with that. Unless they have people like Ethan behind them. And they wouldn't stop.
What's people like Ethan? Germans?
No, they wouldn't stop dancing enough in time to give you actual service.
Oh, I would. Yeah, I'd be ill. I'd be ill. Just if I have to do a job, don't give me alcohol. That's just a bad thing to do. Well, unless you give me free popcorn. If you give me free popcorn, I'm fine. Keep that going all night.
Keep that in mind.
We do have a live chat going during these shows. Verdine in the chat points out, Justin, that you judged Iron Man 2, but you were also the guy who went to see Jurassic Park in 3D.
So I don't know. Is he ripping? Hopefully he's not ripping on Jurassic Park.
I believe he is. I'm going to speak for him, even though he's going to respond in mere seconds. Yes, he's ripping on Jurassic Park.
I cannot defend the 3D part, but this was... I'm going to an IMAX theater to see Jurassic Park, so I got super excited about that. Because it came to... We've got like a really old school IMAX in Indy that's like the real IMAX. And then
Which one?
The one downtown.
Yeah.
It's like super big, attached to the
The
museum.
one you heard about when you were a kid.
Yes. And not the one attached to the mall that... No, that's kind of a bigger screen. So... The 3D, all I can say about the 3D in Jurassic Park didn't bother me. It was fine. It was fine. I hate wearing the glasses. That's my complaint.
Yeah.
Not the actual movie side of it. So,
Yeah, it's poop.
but holy shit, does that movie hold up? I hold it in very high esteem, but I still felt like I gave it a fair shake, and it's entertaining all the way through. It's like the exact, like, it's not too long, it's not too short, and. The conversations we had right after the movie with our group was a lot of fun, as far as like the people that didn't know they did sequels, and should we check out the sequels? Like no, don't worry about it.
What? How old are these people?
Where were they at?
6?
Who are they? Yeah.
It was a range of
the children?
It was a range of like 25 to 35, I'd say.
How the fuck did they not
What?
know about Lost World? Or
Lost World was the movie I wasted the most money on because I probably saw it in theaters 8 times. But that was just I was at that age where all I did was go to the movie theaters on the weekends. And
Well, and you loved Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, yeah.
Like everyone.
man, that shot of Ian Malcolm when he is injured and kind of on the IMAX screen, it goes on for way too long. Like the entire crowd was all giggling to themselves.
That's a great. Yeah, that's I don't get it, and I understand that people don't like Jurassic Park the movie, but they do like the book or something. So I'm hoping Verdian, you better answer this in the chat. Better be because you really like the book or something. Because if you didn't like the movie, I think that's like an un-American thing. Mm-hmm. And I don't care where you're from in the world. You should definitely be American when it comes to action movies and.
So fun fact
dinosaurs.
that I forgot: he says "hold on to your butts" twice.
What, really?
Yeah, he says "hold on to your butts."
Well, that's a fun fact you forgot.
I knew he's. Yeah, I
learn something new every time you go.
The first time when he says it when they're going on the tour, that's what I always associate with it. But he also says it when he's shutting the system down.
So okay,
that was a fun fact.
And the crowd had a lot of fun. Like people were there were multiple people snorting, laughing at the little kids' jokes of what's his name? Yeah,
little Timmy.
Yeah,
Timmy. Yeah. Where's Timmy today?
Oh,
where are they now?
He's in something. He was on Justified. We looked it up after the show. He was a preacher on Justified recently, and in the last 2 seasons.
That's so weird.
Yeah,
I can't imagine his career took off. Like I almost feel like you're Jurassic Park kid. Then he was in that Kevin Bacon movie where they were riding that raft down the river. I believe River Wild. After that, you almost have to kind of take a bow out, or else you get low hand at that point. You get low hand. So, I mean, is he okay? Like, is he doing okay?
He's doing drugs.
Is he?
Yeah,
that's
what you do when you're a child actor. You're in movies and you have to do drugs, and if you don't die, you get to make more movies. Yeah. That's how it works. It's a thing. A lot of them made it out. Some of them didn't. Jonathan Brandis, rest in peace. Let's talk about some video games. So we did some. We do a lot of streaming stuff. People that are hanging out in our chat probably saw some of this stuff, but we haven't gotten to kind of talk about it since. We all played some Monaco together. That launched last week, I believe, and we played last week or week before, whenever it was, very recently. And
I think it's finally on XBLA this week.
The three of us and Aaron from the site, Aaron McNeil, BG Radio, you guys might know him as. We all played some 4-player co-op. This is like, if you haven't seen it, it's a top-down, like 2D, very colorful but minimalistic art style heist game, co-op heist game, and you're supposed to play these different roles. Like, one person is the cleaner, and he gets to take guys out from behind, like not to dinner, but put them to sleep. And then you got like the mole gets to dig through walls, and so on and so forth. However, this game was Pac-Man on lots of drugs.
I never made the Pac-Man connection, but you're right.
And someone else said, yeah, okay.
Pac-Man on drugs? Then what is Pac-Man Championship Edition DX?
Pac-Man on all drugs.
Okay.
No, on only the uppers. On only uppers, Monaco is more of a cocktail.
He's definitely got some hallucinogens to get to.
What did you guys? We had fun when we played it because we play fun. Or we have fun when we play anything together. But what now after the fact? What do you actually think of the game? Because I don't think my opinion is maybe as high as others.
It's fun as hell. Co-op.
Yeah. I just didn't have really any desire to go back and revisit it. It's almost like maybe if I would have tried it at first and kind of got in the puzzle aspect of it and maybe had fun with it, but I think like we just had too much fun. Like just shit was happening, and like I don't know if that much shit is going to happen without that many people. It's it's math. There's like a formula involved,
I feel like the single player experience is much more stealthy than the chaos that is the co-op.
Like totally different game.
I would think. I mean, that would be how I would approach it. But what I learned from that experience. I've talked about this, that I assumed all four. Like, I thought this game was about like the proper way to solve these heists, and we would like conform to our classes. And
it's not a puzzle that there's
cooperate.
only one way to solve. You can just brute force your way through the entire experience.
The best part of the game for
Fumbling
us
your way
was
through.
when somebody would go down, and another person would go off and try to save that person, and they would fail, and then all of a sudden, all three guys are down, and there's only one person left. And can we?
Now those were fun moments. Like, yeah, I like that kind of stuff because everyone's counting on you, and when you come through, you're a goddamn hero, and there's no better feeling. No better feeling. And I feel like I got myself into those situations a lot, not because I was better than anyone in any way, but more because I was always the mole, and I was always just digging tunnels in preparation for certain scenarios that only came up 1 out of 10 times. But man, that one time, guys, just take the tunnel, and everyone would be in trouble, and they would take the tunnel. They wouldn't say thanks, but I knew.
I loved your unnecessary tunnels. You're either like 5 steps ahead,
Insurance
or
tunnels, man.
playing a different game. Well, I mean, some of them where you're just too lazy to go down one grid space to the door, and
almost
dig a tunnel right next to the door.
every time I busted down a wall into a room where there was no door or a locked door, I would think of the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah.
Almost every single time. It was so much
You
fun.
mentioned it a few times on the stream, but we never like outright did the joke, which I thought showed great restraint on our behalf.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
I
one.
said, "Oh yeah," a couple
Pretty
of
easy.
times.
but like not.
Could have been Macho Man. You know. Yeah, it was ambiguous.
It was subtle. It was very subtle. Yeah.
Definitely peed in all the toilets. Games that let you pee, I'm gonna pee.
Well, and not only did it let you pee, but I peed in it. Actually, like hid me. Like I was running from someone. Someone was after me. I believe it was one of those doctors with crossbows. Don't ask me. And then I ran into a stall and I started peeing. And he was a respectful NPC. He popped up.
Waited outside the door.
he's
Like,
busy.
yeah, it's like I like that there's this gentleman's agreement. You know.
Yeah.
Not only is there honor among thieves, but between the thieves and then the people trying to catch him.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, like that's kind of deep. The bullshit that happens with a co-op, just the craziness it's fun. It's crazy and it's fun. But I like you, I was really expecting something a little more methodical.
Yeah.
I thought it would be a puzzle and we would have to play the roles to solve them. Mm-hmm. And we never did that once. And we're all capable of that. Yeah. We're all capable of stopping. We play cerebral games. We all, right? I mean, we play Sims and stuff like not the Sims, simulations.
Yeah, we play Sims.
I shouldn't shorten that. And you know, we're capable, but we completely
not even close.
No, we devolved.
We panicked a lot. There was a lot of panic. Actually, the panic began within 5 seconds of the round happening.
Yeah.
Like we could be out in a parking lot, nobody around us, and then it panicked. And this is why I'm glad we're not on some sort of elite special forces team, because as soon as we hit the mission site, like one of us would flip, and that would send everybody off. You know, like we would all be done.
But I don't think it was flipping. It was always like 3 guys would be off, like going one way, and there'd be just one of us that kind of went to do their own thing.
Okay, say my name.
And not even
just say it.
And then it was
not getting in trouble though.
You were always
at least I was going towards I would see where the safes were and stuff. I was trying to dig my way to it, like with bypassing the shit.
You managed to find like the most complicated path. To
well, but that's because there'd be random walls that you couldn't bust through, and it would stop me. Or like you couldn't go outside, which was weird.
My favorite part about when you're down and like you see all of your co-op buddies, you still see them on the map. Anything that your character's line of sight doesn't see looks like the blueprint of a building. And so you just see basically their silhouettes wandering and then hear them scream or see like exclamation points or like the markers of the enemies, and you just see them walking into traps and getting in more trouble, but you kind of have to picture what's actually going on and interpret their screams, and those are always the most fun part.
The best parts would be like there was one moment where I'm in a room with like 4 lasers, and you have to deactivate them, but they only deactivate for like 5 seconds, and you can't possibly do them all at once. You know, you have to do one at a time, and I'm going through, turning them off, and you have to stand in the path of the one you just turned off to turn off the next one, and Ethan comes barreling through, like, and I think he was on the run or something, whatever, and he sets this thing off. It shoots an arrow, it hits me, it puts me to sleep, and then a dog comes in the room.
That was my fault.
And then that one comes in. It sets off the trap, but the arrow doesn't shoot the dog; it shoots me. And there was this like sequence of events. It was just like really funny. That kind of stuff. It's real.
Because you actually had a plan.
Abbott Costello.
You walked into the room with your 2 buddies at that point. I was actually off making a train of every enemy in the level, just because I didn't know where you guys were. Mm-hmm. But you walked in this room, and
that's a good way to find us.
you evaluate what's going on, and you're like, oh, I see what's happening here. We just need to do this, this, and this. This is all going on in your head, and you start to do that, and no one else is. We're just all impatient, like, what's this laser do? And then I show up with the dog, and luckily Ethan triggered the incident to start, so nobody noticed that the dog was my fault.
Yeah, I gotta say, if I'm gonna rank, and not to point fingers at everyone, but I think we should. Aaron was the best. He caused the least amount of chaos. That guy always keeps a cool head, always using his noodle. Ethan, he was also pretty good, pretty single-minded. His job was, I'm going to take dudes out, which you can only do that when you stealth on them, and so when we're causing chaos, it makes his job really difficult. I was the same way. I know I was just digging tunnels. I couldn't stop. Very singular focus. But I don't feel like I was causing too much of the chaos. Since there was so much chaos, though, that only leaves one person who could have possibly caused all the rest of that. I don't think I need to name names, but I think the person knows.
Just trying to make progress, I'm going to say.
Like, okay, this is our plan, guys. We're gonna go in here. We're gonna rob this place.
At least hey,
everybody, I'm here to take your cash. Like, what? No,
put her in the bag. Put her in the bag.
It's like 4 guys with guns.
I actually thought going into that game that I was going to be the guy that was getting angry every time we went off plan. Luckily, I realized very quickly.
You were the guy that screwed the plan every time. Oh, is that not what you were going to say? No, I'm sorry. I tried to just finish your sentence for you. Well, go ahead. Say
did you get mad at all during it? Like, were there moments that, like...
No.
Because I've listened to you guys play games together before, and there's moments where, it's getting competitive, or maybe, one person's relying on the other one, and I was hoping that time, because I was having a good time, and I was also, again, not that this is a habit, but I happened to be drinking all day. And so I really wasn't in the state of mind to be performing well. But halfway through it, I was kind of like I hope they're not really mad. Like, I hope this is just a lot of fun, because we were fucking it up big time.
No, I turned that corner pretty quick. Like, it was after probably the second mission I realized, oh shit, this game is all about the chaos. Let's have fun.
Well, and it took a couple of missions before people realized, I think, that you could hold down a button to sneak, or that you could hold down a button to see everyone else's vision. That kind of stuff.
I never found that button.
Oops. Very helpful.
You can see everybody else's.
Very helpful. Yes. You share line of sight by holding down. I think it's Y.
I was thinking about that, because that's the difference between we were playing online, but if you were playing local co-op,
you would just see it all.
Yeah, and I was like, that's kind of weird.
No, 3 people don't get to see anything unless player 1 holds the Y button down.
Huh.
Don't ask me. I'll take away your vision.
Can we play it again so I can see if that makes it more fun? I do. We almost got through the lockpicks campaign.
Loch Ness.
Yeah.
There was a story.
But right now
that was weird.
It hasn't been that I've disliked the game or it's like fallen out of favor with me. It's that I don't want to play it not in that situation, but getting 4 people together for a block of time has always proved difficult. So, I mean, I would do that again. So I would keep going, but I don't have any need to play that game solo. Mm-hmm. So hopefully,
Yeah. I would also. I'd like to try, and I do want to try the couch co-op. I think that would be a little different. So Monaco. It's out on Steam and XBLA, and is it on PSN as well?
Yes.
Hope so. Good. PSN. So PSN is getting today it's getting an indie games channel or section, which I thought was like, that's kind of weird. They didn't have that before. If they had indie games, but
it's really hard to browse for those downloadable games.
Yeah, sure, but since there isn't as much garbage on PSN, it doesn't take too long to get through it and to find stuff. My problem with PSN has always been that the interface was just too damn slow.
Yeah.
But now that you can buy stuff off the website, was it store.sonyentertainmentnetwork.com? It's a really stupid URL, but like now, so I'll just log into there and do my shopping. I don't use
just look up PlayStation Store.
Yeah.
I can't believe that took them so long, but
yeah, but I feel like they're just they're getting it together. They get it, and I feel like they're moving in the right direction, and maybe at some point they'll figure that stuff out before Microsoft does, because they still don't. They don't have it. We know this. Yeah. We all know this. They don't.
I mean, they don't have it. I feel like Microsoft has to have another trick up their sleeve. Like the way that it's just, from the outside, it looks like they're like shunning developers left and right. The way they've kind of treated all this stuff, and like game second kind of mentality. And when I saw that Sony added this, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because they're making a lot of outreach to indie developers. So
if they're just saving that for, or are they just saving it for a big reveal for E3 or something?
That also doesn't make sense.
Dumb. That's self-serving in itself.
I think you said it, but I'm getting of the mind that they're holding back some sort of hardware deal that makes it like, no, you will have this machine even if you're not a gamer.
Yeah.
So the developers will have to come back to us. It's almost that type of mentality. But I'm happy to see, like, as frustrated as I've been with, I honestly thought Wii U would kind of make that outreach to indie developers more. But it's good to see Sony's filling in that gap there. So
they should just send Reggie out to people's homes. Like, want to make some Nintendo games?
He doesn't have to do an E3 presentation, so.
Yeah. Well, they're still doing stuff.
Right.
He'll still do a thing. He'll be on Nintendo Direct or something, right? But we'll find out about the new Xbox on May 21st. So look forward to coverage of that thing. What other kind of stuff did we do together? What did we stream? Oh, Ethan and I did Resident Evil Raccoon City. Operation Raccoon City. Did we talk about that? I haven't
heard a damn thing about this since that stream.
Yeah,
so
we haven't talked about this.
It's his game of the year. Talk to me.
It was not my game of the year.
We talked about that on our
because
stream.
I didn't jump into the crowd of everybody who was like, this sucks, this is so shit. It wasn't a bad game. Not game of the year. What came out of that? That was 2011, wasn't it?
No, it was 2012.
Is that last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, last.
What was my game of the year last year?
I don't remember. You
Skyrim.
Oh, well, yeah, it probably was. Yeah.
It was not Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, right. I don't. Last year was so long ago. You know, we've got to
really
move on. So this just came out on the PC, so we're playing it on the computer. Ethan rebought it, and
it was like $10.
And I bought it. Yeah, there was a great sale. It was $10 or $13, and you get all the DLC. Which don't do that. You get a red dress. That's really the only thing that you get. But I had a really good time.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did. It was fun. I mean, Aaron joined us for that one. So there were three of us playing. It's 4-player co-op, but there was three of us. And yeah, it was the first mission gives you the worst impression because they're like very early on. We were like 20 minutes in, you fight was that Nemesis that we were fighting?
No shit.
Or Birkin. Okay. A big unstoppable bad guy in Resident Evil, right? And it was one of the worst boss fights ever. And we were just constantly dying. Ethan kept getting caught, and it was really dumb. He would be in a hallway, nowhere near a bad guy, and a bad guy would bust through the wall, grab him, and incapacitate him. It was just like it was the dumbest thing. Yeah. When we finally got past that, I started having a good time. You shoot dudes, army guys. That's but shooting the flimsies, the zombies. Now that was pretty fun. Like the shooting felt just fine. I know a lot of people bitched about like how the guns had no weight to them and all that kind of stuff. I read that in like 5 reviews from major outlets. Like I didn't think that at all.
Ethan, did you notice
Felt
any like differences between the PS3 version as far as like the patching may have addressed in that interim to give things more weight or improve that performance a little bit?
We kind of talked about it a little bit. It did feel a little bit different, a little bit smoother because I got it when I played it. I actually played it before I reviewed it before it got the patch the first time, because there was a patch that came out like real soon after the PS3, and so I played it when it kind of had some of that stuff, because obviously a lot of the other websites played it before that. But it felt smooth. It felt fine. The issues that I had with it, it still had. I mean, that
Okay.
Birkin fight. The game has pacing issues like you would not believe. I mean, that fight's awful. The beginning of the game is awful. I fought through the beginning of the game, and so I understand why some people may not have done that. Even people that reviewed the game may have just said, "Okay, I'm going to review the multiplayer and be fine with it." But again, it's definitely a game that like does not want you to like it. But if you can get to a point, especially playing co-op, which I played it single player, so I mean, playing with other people was just way better. I mean, it's the perfect kind of game. It's a goofy kind of game. It's not. You don't have to put too much thought into it. And we did. We had a good time. We had a really good time.
It's like I had the same kind of fun with that I had with the Umbrella Chronicles games. Those you remember the light gun shooters on the Wii?
Yeah,
I've heard those are actually pretty good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed them. Same kind of fun. It's set in that Resident Evil universe, and it's got that same kind of quirkiness that anything in Resident Evil universe has. But it had just like goofy shit, like the little run and dive thing.
Yeah,
it's almost a completely worthless maneuver because you don't like run and dive and roll. You just flop, and you can shoot while you're doing it, but you can't stay on the ground and shoot like you can in RE6. You just immediately get up. It doesn't help. It's hard to aim while you do it.
Was it you or Justin that said that you felt like Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, obviously they're not the same people that made it, but like there were directions. You can see a blueprint that was enhanced to a fault in Resident Evil 6 that Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City presented.
I think I said
you know what I mean?
When I watched your footage that it looked more like Resident Evil 5 as far as the action went. It wasn't, I don't know, as chaotic looking as 6, but
I mean,
6 was really chaotic, but the Operation Raccoon City at its worst, and there again, like you get past the Birkin fight, there are other moments kind of like that where the chaos gets to a point where it's tough to manage, what you're actually doing. There's plenty of that, and so you see this. It's funny, the progression in the Resident Evil games. You go Resident Evil 5, a lot of action. That was about the end of what they could do with the tank controls and the kind of the wonky movement. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. Okay, we're gonna kind of expand that action out a little bit. Let's get the control scheme down. And then Resident Evil 6 was fucking Michael Bay. I'm here to direct this. I'm gonna take this on. This is my new pet project, and it's just really kind of interesting to see that, and then go back to play Operation Raccoon City and feel like in a lot of ways it's a little bit smoother, I think, control wise than Resident Evil 6 was. Definitely.
Oh yeah, I think the controls are really good. The shooting is pretty awesome. I was playing with a controller and with a mouse and keyboard. So if I would get in certain situations where I needed to snipe, or like we got in this one fight, we're in this like a missile silo kind of thing, and we had to hold it down while these different waves of guys came while we activated these 3 things. It was pretty kind of standard setup, but I was having trouble hitting guys with the guns available with the joystick. So I was using my left hand holding the controller and my right hand with the mouse. Oh my God. Because being able to move your feet analog is nice, right? That's a thing that we miss as, playing PC games. But the mouse aiming, just 10 times better. I was just snapping to people's heads, bang, popping a dome. I think that's the thing. That's what you want to do. Just hold the.
I'm not sure that's going to catch on.
I think we should do it. I think this should be someone needs to be going this direction. I'm sure somebody has Mad Catz has some shit
Yeah,
PC peripheral that does that with your left hand. I'm sure already. But anyways, it worked really well. I had fun with it though. It was really fun co-op. I would not play it by myself. But yeah, I can't wait to get back to it again. We've had trouble scheduling some time to do it.
How much would you spend on this game?
$10.
Okay.
Exactly what I spent. Or well, don't buy the DLC. Red dress, not worth it. It is.
Looks
just,
good though.
Yeah.
Good
well,
red
it
dress.
was. Yeah, it was hot leather.
Didn't work on the White Russian.
No. The classes are pretty cool too. Because I was doing the medic, and you get to pick what your like ability is going to be. So instead of taking super heals or any of that stuff, I got these like stim pack things that you juice someone up, and their vision gets kind of weird and stuff, but they get like really fast and super accurate for 10, 15 seconds. And you get to shoot them with this thing. This gigantic blue syringe flies out and hits them and kind of like shoots out jets of like it looks really painful. But you can hit them from really far away, so I'd always be pulling that thing out and aiming it at Ethan and Aaron, and they wouldn't be expecting. And it's got to be. Was it disorienting? It looked like when I did it to myself, it seemed a little kind of
at first
awkward.
Because my character actually had a boost as well, so I would have my boost, and then I would get boosted, and they were just like because my vision or my character turns red, like they're on fire, and yeah, I mean it was like, oh, what's going on? But it was fun. But I was also kind of suffering some blurry vision, in and of itself, in relation to the cocktails that I had been.
So it was a bottle of Jack gone at that point.
It was halfway there. So
those are the sessions where I'm glad I don't have a mini fridge handy, because I would also get completely, destroyed. But when we're playing, there's not a lot of breaks, so stopping to go get a drink. Refill or something is usually not in the cards for me. So,
yep.
I start pouring taller drinks. What else? What else have we all been playing together? We have any other stuff? Did we all play Never? No, we didn't play Neverwinter together. Did you guys?
Yeah. We didn't play. I haven't played together with anybody.
So three of us have not played.
Through the
Did you get it?
Yeah, I played it too. So why have we not all played together? Okay, so Cryptic Studios, makers of, they're the original City of Heroes dudes. And then they did Champions Online, which was pretty cool. Star Trek Online, which is awesome.
I did not know that. Okay.
Really awesome. And yeah, oh man, there's so much of that game in this one.
Of Star Trek? Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Lots of it. Including like the Foundry.
Mm-hmm.
That's that thing. The Star Trek team is the one that made that. Like I think they have a team just for the Foundry, but that was made for Star Trek, and then they split it off and made it like a universal thing, so they had one code base and stuff. I've heard them talk about it a bunch. But so Neverwinter is a Dungeons and Dragons property. Perfect World owns Cryptic, so that's who's publishing it. Originally, Atari had these licenses and all that. And this is an MMO, free to play with really actiony combat, and it's pretty damn good. And I think Justin, you have the same opinion.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere for me too. I think it hit the right mood. I've been playing a lot of Torchlight 2 and Borderlands 2 recently. Like I've just been in the loot questing mood, and when I saw how gorgeous the game looked, two, heard that the action was very engaging, especially for an MMO, and then saw it was free to play. I was like, again, why not? And then as soon as I read about it, this was like I think 2 days before Rock Paper Shotgun posted their impressions of the game, and that was kind of where I was like, oh, I should actually take this game seriously. And then right after that, they announced they're doing open beta, and so downloaded it Thursday night, started playing Friday night. So I played heavy Friday, Saturday, and
you were streaming a bunch on Twitch,
and I played 10 levels solo and 10 levels with a couple partners, Aaron and then Ferdian from chat joined in, and
cool.
So I started off playing a rogue, and the rogues are they're killing machines, man. They are badass. They are, I mean, naturally they're fast fighters. So I was kind of curious, like, okay, how does the combat hold up for the other classes? Is this just does it just feel fast because I'm a rogue? But then I played one of the great weapon fighters, not like it's like the second tier warrior basically, and they're just as fun. So
I did the Guardian fighter.
Yeah.
What were you playing, Ethan?
Guardian. Yep.
Yeah.
So like the tanks.
Yeah, sword and shield.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which was cool because you could block. Can you block with the other classes?
No, you dodge. That was what I really like about the game is the inclusion of that stamina bar, because it gives you, especially for the warrior kind of does a sprint, the rogue dodges out of the way, and you know, especially when a dude's winding up for a big attack or an area of effect, it'll highlight the area that's about to be hit, and you have a split second to jump out of the way. And for that type of active engagement in an MMO, that's what kind of sealed it for me.
Yeah, so. Yeah. It's almost it's like Guild Wars 2 wanted to do some of these things, but I think this game kind of does them better. You don't move in combat the same way. Like when you're attacking, your guy is kind of stuck in place. So there's a little bit of that, what do they call it? Animation priority stuff going on, which is deliberate. I like that. It's actually, it's pretty fun because with the Guardian fighter, we can just hold down the block button, shift, and you can't do shit. We'll stand there all day. You have a meter, I guess, that goes down. But you have some of your attacks build the meter back up. I've never had a block get broken. But when you're blocking, it takes a second to bring the shield up. Not long. It's not annoyingly long. It's just like a split second. So you can react pretty quickly when you see them start to attack, because all the animations from the enemies, when they're going to hit you, they give you just enough time to react to it with the shield. I'm sure it's the same with the dodge. But then coming out of the block to an attack isn't instantaneous, so you're not just like you're not completely invincible, but I think they got the balance between that stuff just about perfect. It's it's really smooth. I don't like the go ahead.
Well, it felt to me like when I started playing it, when I first saw them playing, I was kind of like,
you were ripping on it in chat. I was like, it took me.
No, I just thought it looked. To me, in the beginning, especially in the beginning, it just looked bland. I was like, okay, like for these MMOs, you got to do something a lot, like very different.
Sure.
And control-wise, it felt like they took the perspective of an ARPG and kind of, not to the extent of a Torchlight 2 or whatnot, but that's what it felt like to me. I was clicking on guys. I didn't feel like I had to worry about my keys as much. I was more focused on positioning, using my block and stuff like that. And so that in and of itself was enough to say, okay, I could give it more of a chance as opposed to just kind of glossing over it and whatnot. And I mean, again, like getting into it was pretty solid. I mean, so far, Did you guys have a little bit of lag issue?
No, I had none, but I started playing a couple days after launch, which might have. I think I started playing a little bit later than you guys did, so that might have changed things.
I very little bit, only in town with a lot of people, but other than that, I mean, there was very little.
Town, I had frame rate issues, but that's just it was drawing a lot of stuff, so I didn't.
Yeah. The only thing that I'm will always be, and this is kind of where I just get bogged up with MMOs, is questing wise. Like I hope they're gonna do something a little bit different, because those did feel pretty bland. I didn't feel like I had as much satisfaction in fighting as I did. In like an ARPG, like loot wasn't flying all over the place or anything like that. It was just, to me, like those missions were like, okay, I was trying to get from point A to point B, and obviously it's in beta, so you can't go into too much detail on it.
Okay, so I want to speak to that for a second, because I'm probably going into it a little bit different than everyone else, or maybe not you, I don't know, but maybe Ethan. So instead of going at it from an MMO or action RPG perspective, I was more looking at it like a D&D perspective. And maybe also thinking in the back of my head, I mean, the most recent MMO I'd played was Guild Wars 2, so that's why I was doing some comparisons with the combat and stuff. But then Dungeons & Dragons Online is that it's a couple years older, but to me that's like still like a pretty good representation. I think there's like a really good representation of the MMO, the tabletop version translated to an MMO. So they even have like a dungeon master like talking to you with like text on the screen and voice and stuff sometimes. So they set that up like modules like their official modules would be. So the flow of a quest, like this to me, I'm looking at it from the perspective of, I remember seeing this, like they had this gigantic booth for it at Gen Con last year, and like trying to get the pen and paper guys to check it out, and I'm thinking in my head going into this, and again, not having seen a whole lot of the game besides some of those like a convention and stuff, so I'm thinking, they're gonna try to do D&D kind of stuff, but they're gonna do more action-y combat like they did with the second iteration of Star Trek Online, where it's like, it's an MMO framework, but they're gonna try to push that to the limit to make it feel as responsive as possible, which they did. I feel like they did a good job of that. But so when you go into, and I haven't played that much of the game, but just like the first like big dungeon that you do, the way it's set up, like it's more like they have more enemies than you would face if you're playing like pen and paper version. Yeah. For obvious reasons. But they also they kind of space out, like you're not constantly getting loot. So there's not like a ton of junk loot. So when you do get something, even like some potions, felt like kind of a big deal, which was cool. I like that because like D&D was never about like, you killed a couple of skeletons. Like when you're playing like a session of D&D, you would maybe get in one or two fights like an entire for one evening, and then you maybe don't play again for a month or something. Like the combat is fun and just really you like it, but it's only part of it. And then so the loot is like, everyone loves loot, but it's way more sparse than a Diablo kind of game. So I was never really expecting that so much, I guess. So, but I was getting loot. I played for a couple of hours and I got some shirt and some pants and some potions and a sword and whatever. So they they're going to be somewhat true to the roots, the lore, the license. So for people looking for something like more loot heavy action RPG like, or I think you might be like a little bit disappointed, but just kind of understand like where it's coming from, and hopefully they reach the balance that makes that good and worthwhile. So there's less junk stuff that you pick, because that's the downside to getting a lot of loot. Most of it is junk. 90% of it is junk. I mean, that happens with Diablo. It happens with everything. It happens with Marvel Heroes. Been playing that. That's the same way. It's just like so much of it is junk. So you're like filtering out if it's white, I don't pick it up. That kind of thing. I didn't have that here. I was like, a treasure chest in the corner. Holy shit! You might even miss it or something.
It did make up for it with the way that the gold just kind of shoots up out of the dead guys. I kind of got a kick out of that. Like gold was basically falling from everywhere every time you'd kill a dude. But I did notice.
I didn't see that so much. But maybe I didn't play it far.
I did notice that there wasn't as much loot as I expected, but I also quickly learned where to expect loot. Like as far as I would only get kind of disappointed if one of the big name guys didn't drop something, because sometimes the name guys won't even really drop anything interesting, but they unlock the big custom chest that's in the background.
Sure. Like there would be and that's the way they would present. So when you pick up a quest, tell me if this continues past that first couple of dungeons, but when you take a quest, it shows you what your rewards are for that, and obviously you're gonna maybe get other stuff too along the way. But when you turn the quest in, you would get the experience points and the gold or whatever. But any items you're gonna get
it
appears in the dungeon as a treasure chest after you beat the bad guy, and that was cool. I liked the way that's presented. That was a cool.
Made a lot of sense. So
yeah.
I was actually kind of worried on the other side of not being, a heavy D&D player at all. I always worry with these D&D games that that's going to somewhat put me off or make me feel alienated. Like especially like you go in there, you're doing your origin story and picking what area of the world you're from. I was like, none of this. I don't know any of this. This is really,
and there's a ton of fan service there.
But they also say this doesn't actually affect your character. So, and we learned later, and I didn't know this until it was too late, that you can write your own story. And there were a couple.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you can when you inspect a character, you can see their history, and there were some people that wrote some pretty funny ones. I was trying to think of the one we ran into that essentially said that he's a pretty. I'm paraphrasing. It's a pretty nice guy, but I'm a badass wizard if you steal my cookies or something like that. And that was the first one we read. I was like, I think that's custom. So it's nice that they allow that level of customization. That's kind of very true to D&D, and then so far I've only played one, but just the fact that it really promotes the user created quests, and that I think that'll be it's both its strength and its weakness, because they'll have to support that type of quest building. I think you'll start to see some of the formulas of later quests. I'm just kind of guessing of what they've built, but those are actually the two I've played were actually pretty fun. They were pretty creative.
The Foundry has been alive in Star Trek Online for a year and a half or something now, so it's been a while, and there are plenty of people, myself included, who really don't touch it that much, except for the ones that I would hear about from, like a podcast or something, or the highest rated ones, that kind of stuff, because some of them are really, really well done, really well written, and again, knowing that the tech is the same and that code base is the same, and then the only difference being like the assets and that stuff, then, and you don't fly spaceships in Neverwinter.
Yet.
Yeah. Starjammer.
Yeah.
Starjammer. They could put. There is precedence for this in the D&D universe. They have a. They've got like flying spaceships, like boats in space boats, ships, but not boats. But that's the only way to say it. If I say spaceship, you think of like the Enterprise or something. They look like
space clippers,
fucking longboats. Yeah, space sloops. So. Anyway, what was I talking about? I digress. So, some of the stuff that guys have done in Star Trek Online with the Foundry stuff have been really impressive. Just to the point where I'm looking around going, how in the hell did they make this in the Foundry? I've been in the Foundry. I'm pretty sure you can't do this. And guys figured out ways, like tricks and stuff.
That's cool.
And like some really, really good stories. So there will be some gems. You're gonna it's gonna need to be curated. Maybe it's gonna be by the community. So you need to find the Neverwinter Nights.com show or what. There's gonna be somebody's gonna come up with like a podcast or something. Like this is what happened with because Star Trek Online Foundry has some dudes do this thing called the Foundry Files, and I'm sure somebody's going to do the same
you should
thing.
Do this show.
And they just review the best ones, and they tell you which ones you want to play, and that's what you should do. So, I'm sure there's going to be the same thing. So find that, and don't waste your time on all the BS, because there's going to be dudes trying to make missions that don't speak the language, any language, very well. There's going to be 8-year-olds, 30-year-olds that never finished high school. And then there's going to be those dudes that are trying to game the system and say, like, I'm going to try to make a mission that gives me the maximum amount of XP with the least amount of time. And it's not going to be a mission. It's going to be a room full of skeletons. So
actually,
don't do that.
That would be appealing to Ethan.
Yeah, I would love to murder a room full of skeletons. I was very happy to see the skeleton warrior.
Every time I see a skeleton warrior, I think of you now. Like,
well represented. Oh yeah, it's nice to hit him. It's nice to hit him.
That's the difference between skeletons. Well. Skeletons have swords. Zombies don't. A skeleton can wield a weapon. They retain that. A zombie is just they're flimsy.
What were the name of the zombies in this one?
Zombies?
It was
Shamblers.
Shamblers. No, never mind.
Rotters, yeah, rotters.
Yeah.
They call them zombies.
Did you get Kylie to play this game?
Not yet, but she's going to.
Cool.
She saw a little bit of it and was definitely intrigued.
What'd you say? You said you were looking for something. You're moving beyond Diablo 3 and Torchlight. And
wait, me personally or the two of us together?
The two of you.
Well, we're playing a ton of Marvel Heroes right now, but we need to play other games because we chew through content and then it's like, how many times can you replay this stuff? And although that game is probably better than most if you like the characters, because I'm like, oh, now I want to play with Cyclops, or Wolverine. That's a little different, I think, than character classes in other kinds of games. But like, she needs an MMO. But we've tried some, and they just haven't really worked.
You tried Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and because the Lord of the Rings stuff.
Did you try Guild Wars?
No, but I don't.
we'll get to that.
I don't think that's super user friendly.
I don't either.
Or newbie friendly. I mean,
I love Guild Wars 2.
It's a great game, but I don't think for somebody who doesn't play that kind of game, it's still an MMO.
This is much more accessible.
Yeah,
especially
absolutely. You left click to swing your sword. That's
you hold it down.
The difference.
You hold it down.
Yeah.
You don't keep clicking.
No,
it took me one streaming session to figure that out.
It's that like basic difference.
Nice.
Like it plays more like War in the North, the Lord of the Rings action RPG game. So which she loved. So I'm gonna get her into this one because like she needs like an MMO because that's the kind of thing where you can do some crafting and all that kind of stuff. Like that's something that she likes. But
or send people off to do crafting. I'm still figuring out their profession system. It's very Assassin's Creed Brotherhood to me. Go skin stuff.
Dude,
bring it back to me.
Again, this so Star Trek Online has this duty officer system that they introduced, and when that thing got added in, like I had a reason to log in every day. Like I'm not the guy who does dailies, in the MMO term.
He's an asshole.
There are missions that you can repeat once a day or 3 times a day or whatever. That sounds dumb to me. I'm just not going to do that. But when you're playing Pokemons. Like, yeah, okay, I can get into that. I can get it. So in Star Trek, you've got you have your bridge officers, which are actual characters in the game that you take on missions with you when you're playing and without a full group of humans. When you go on an away mission, if you don't have people with you or max, so if you got a 5-man group, only one of them is a dude, then the rest of the other 3 people are going to be your bridge officers, and you can decide who brings who. So, but what about all the other people on the ship? Like, remember on the show, Next Generation show, right? My Chief O'Brien, the transporter chief. Like, he wasn't like a main dude, but every time they showed the transporter room, there's Cole Meany, and he's like, aye, aye, Captain, I'll transport some. I hope you come out okay on the other side, cracking jokes. Like, who are those? Where are those people on the ship? Like, you don't have names, so they made this system where you have all these other people, and they're assigned to different areas of the ship and stuff, and you send them on missions. They go out for 2 hours or 8 hours or whatever.
Do you have to put somebody in the red shirt?
No, but people sometimes don't come back. So people do die. They're not necessarily, they don't make red shirt jokes, but yeah. And so that when they come back with resources, and so you got to log in. It's in like real. So it's 8 hours, not of game time, in real time. So you got so you log in once or twice a day to send your guys back out. So the crafting thing is. This seems like a logical extension of that system.
I want to look it up since I didn't read much about the game prior to this past week. Like, I want to read the history of this game. Came out of nowhere for me. So how long have they been working on this versus like the other games they've been supporting? And because also like when I'm looking at a free to play MMO, especially if it's good, I'm worried about like, well, if I really like it, what's the future look like for this? Because it's so kind of unknown. But Cryptic has a pretty good track record of that things are going to continue. Like this seems like it could stick. So.
Well, and more importantly, Perfect World, who bought them from Atari, they have the track record that show from their because this is a Korean company that has other MMO free to play games, MMOs in their lineup. That have made them a bunch of money. I mean, they know how to make money off free-to-play games. Like, they're good at that. And I'm always gushing over Star Trek because it does so many things so well. And it wasn't at launch. It wasn't this game. And they changed it. Cryptic changed it about half of the way, and then Perfect World came along and then gave them the means and the direction to take it the rest of the way. And I think it's as far as the if you're like a free-to-play detractor, you can't play that game and have any complaints.
Right.
You can't.
Yeah.
So, and Neverwinter is the same way. Like, everything is there are no pay gates in front of any of the content. You want to pay money, yeah, you can get cosmetic stuff and whatever. You want the fancy... you get a fancy horse. Like, you want the horse armor? You can pay for the horse armor. Yeah. And they're going to be those whales. You spend $200 on the Founders thing.
on a spider mount.
Wait, did you do that?
No, but Aaron and I were looking at it.
That's fine.
$200?
It's free to play. Why not?
Spider. I want a spider.
Yeah.
For $200?
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a
Spider-Man.
lot of money for a
That's a
spider.
lot of
I
money.
did see one though. They were really weird, man. They didn't stop moving their legs. They'd be standing
Yeah.
in place, and they would be just like kind of like really nervous, like jittery.
And
like
then a
there are
giant
spiders on
Jeebs and the
coke.
Jeebs.
And then a giant shoe came out of nowhere and squished it. Does that happen?
Kuribo's shoe.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Ethan, you have anything to add there? Say no.
Yeah,
Are
we'll
you
see.
gonna keep playing, Ethan?
I will. I mean, I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Play with
I
me.
gotta play it with people. It's like Star Trek Online with me. Like I got in. Like I started playing it. Both of them are competent games. Like I needed to have somebody with me to get over that MMO hump. Because I don't know. I haven't been willing to dedicate myself to that yet. But this is a type of game that would make it easier to do that because I really like the control scheme. I'm not gonna spend $200 on a fucking spider though. But
Crook Dog
maybe a
in the
horse.
chat
Maybe a
points out
fancy
you can buy
horse.
horse.
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe
you can
Impala.
buy whores in the store in Conan. Age of Conan, by the way, that shows boobies. That might be the only. I think that's the only game in this in the genre, at least in the civilized world,
Josh
where
Lee
they
would
show
like
boobies.
to tip his cap to boobies.
Actually, Funcom, they've already they're done in my eyes. We've been there, but we've been down that road. I'm not going to get into it now, but I'll never play that game again. So, has nothing to do with the boobies. I promise you. So yeah, Ethan, what other stuff you been playing? Anything with Michael Biehn in it? Maybe.
I was gonna say, like I've been holding back.
Settle in.
Wanted to get through some of these other games, but holy fuck, man, Michael Bihn's back. He's sexy back. So Blood Dragon
his album?
was everything that I expected. I'm so excited. I'm still excited about it. Before I say anything, I do want to get it off my chest that there are some issues with the game. The game's not perfect.
Thanks, Debbie Downer.
Can we just
There are
pretend
other,
it
I
is?
was gonna say there's other websites that can cover the critical points of Blood Dragon.
But here's the thing though. Here's going into it. I was excited about the trailer, but I told myself don't blow your wad too early without actually playing the game. Visuals, I had trouble with. I had to get used to it. These aren't criticisms as much as just things I noticed. I can't even call them criticisms
Did you
because
take
the
notes?
rest of the game just made up for all of it. But yeah, the neon is tough. Tough on my eyes. My eyes are sensitive. They're little baby eyes. That was difficult for me. Some of the humor, like the tutorial humor, like it was funny. They were making fun of tutorials. The tutorials still kind of sucked. There are a few pieces of that, but that is like 1% of the game that the whole way through was just like every reference they made was like they were talking to me. Like it was like my little brother and I were like you know what they're talking about. Like I kind of wish Matthew was in the room at that time because he would have understood everything that was there. Like it was insane how they went with it. They had a montage of montages at one point in the game, and I fucking lost it. Like it was great. More Far Cry 3. If you like Far Cry 3, hey, there's more of it. A little bit more. I wouldn't say refined as much as they just kind of trimmed some things. The crafting's not there. The stupid selling junk that you find isn't there, which is perfectly fine. And there's not as many weapons, but the weapons you do get, holy shit!
Fucking laser bow.
Dude, I made people look silly with the laser bow. I made them look silly.
People
I was
and
all
creatures.
up in people's faces with arrows, like boom, 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 boom. I mean, there's a few. I haven't. We're trying to cut that highlight to put on YouTube right now, the lengthier portions of it. But I haven't gotten into the points where I just went in there, knowing that I was Rex Colt, and just like I felt like he was in. He came out of the screen inside of me and said, you got to make that shot, because with Brody I'd miss sometimes. And I was okay with it because I'm like, I'm a stupid idiot. I shouldn't be here. I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time. With Rex, man, it was almost like he was like, no, it's on you. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. And I played. Oh my gosh, slow in the beginning. If you watch this stream, I died immediately, and then I kind of felt like in those scenes in movies where the good guy gets his ass kicked and he's like sitting there and the bad guy's like, you had enough, and he's like, no, I haven't, and then it fucking restarted back into it. And I was ready, just shot. And
actually, that scene happens early on in the game for real. So
well, yeah, it actually that scene does too. But perfect length. Most people have said it runs about 8 hours. It took me about 6. I didn't do all the side missions, but that was great. Oh my god, I'm so excited about that. Have you guys played it yet?
Yeah, I played like 4 hours.
But like
I've been doing a lot of just dicking off.
Yeah.
So
I did
hunting cyber animals
as the least experienced Far Cry 3 and
anything, but yeah,
as the least experienced member of this podcast. I was surprised at how Far Cry 3 it became right away. Like I was like, oh, like as soon as you got out into the island, that it played to those same devices. But I don't know if it's the setting. I am much more encouraged to just shoot shit than like sneak up and like really kind of plan out my tactics. Other than taking it over compounds, but I'm just much more free with my bullets. And then
and lasers.
Yes, and I was much more tactical in Far Cry 3. And do you guys notice that difference, or is that just my style of play?
I think you kind of have to. Like I think you have to. Like I felt like I messed up in Far Cry 3 if my stealth mission didn't go well. In this, I was like, okay, this is just Plan B. This is fine. Like,
whoa!
The succession of events.
No, if you screw up your stealth in this game, a laser breathing T-Rex eats you. So I think it's worse. I find myself scared shitless to stand up when I'm outside of the base. I crouch everywhere. I actually do more sneaking in this game than I did Far Cry 3.
Really? I never.
Oh yeah.
I ran into the blood dragons, but not to not so much that it was bad. And like I felt like I had the weapons. Like once you get the sniper rifle, it explodes when you shoot it, or with the bullets it explode. It doesn't explode. That would be counterproductive to your goal. But that, I felt good. The chain gun, dude, that meaty chain gun, he yells when he shoots it.
That's awesome.
Once you have that, dude,
when I pick that up, but the rest of the time, I don't know. I guess maybe I'm more scared of the blood dragons than you guys. Can we talk about the blood dragons for a second? They're not typical. They're not typical dragons. They have no wings. No scale, spiky scales.
Did you know they'd be in the game? Like for some reason, I thought it was almost so obvious. Like it was like a code name for the mission.
Yeah, because I figured there wouldn't be actual dragons, and they're not.
I didn't think so either.
There are T-Rexes. They're right. I mean, it's really a T-Rex in it, but it's like Godzilla. It shoots laser beams out of its mouth. So you cut off people's heads, and rip out their hearts. I'm sorry. So you rip out their heart. What's the other thing you throw? D20s. Which always lands on 20. And so you throw the hearts, and it attracts the blood dragons. So you throw them at dudes, and it's like your thing. Man, when you don't have any hearts, and there's one nearby, and no amount of sneaking will prevent them from finding you and just eating your shit. Like, it's not good. Those things scare the crap out of me.
Yeah,
so
they're tough.
And I just feel like they're always around, and even when it's not up on my screen, I just feel like they're just right over this next hill. The game actually is a little bit too tense for me.
That was Blood Dragon Hill.
Constantly nervous. I'm too nervous playing this game.
Huh.
It's fantastic. All the stuff you said, all the gushing, same thing. Although, I got to say, I couldn't stop thinking about you, Ethan, while I was playing the game. Like, I was like, this is Ethan's game. His voice, Michael Bean's voice, he's doing an impression of you, doing an impression of him and his ilk.
There's literally a point in like, the whole time I felt good. Like, I was like, this is a great game. And then, like, the end, I was like, oh, this was for me. Like, someone's writing me a love letter. And, like, it was like, I was just, like, I got, not, like, emotional, like, oh, this is so great. But I was like, finally, like, somebody out there, one guy fucking gets the things that I get excited about. And, like, the end of the game was just that back to back. It was like, like, just vomiting everything I loved back into my face, and me enjoying it, like me being like, "This is fine. I'm okay with what's happening at this point."
There is a dude.
and
There's a guy. He's in. You can watch videos of him talking to Michael Biehn and stuff.
I watched it. That was
like,
hilarious.
I think it's Mike something. There's a dude, and you know who he is, and you can go find him, and you can talk to him and thank him. And
I'd like to, I'd like to, because with the news that, this might be a sequel that he's pitching it. He's pitching the idea of doing the next, game in the Blood Dragon.
Apparently,
series.
it's selling well,
awesome.
so sure.
Well, do they do another Rex Cult game, or do they just go a completely different direction?
Why would they not have Michael Biehn was the one who broke the news.
Yeah.
Of course he's going to be. Well, he could be somebody else, I guess, but no. They could send him, dude. They could just send him into another time, send him back in time to the 80s, and do like a super 80s. Just make Terminator the game.
I'll take anything.
Just don't
I will
call
take
that.
that character in fucking anything.
Yeah,
like that character's awesome.
Yeah, Blood Dragon. Go play it, unless you're a pussy.
Like a huge pussy.
I'm pretty sure that ad's already out there. I would hope so.
Yeah, it probably is.
What else have you been playing? Anything else? Anything cool?
I just want to point out real quick. Cry of Fear is the scariest fucking game ever made. Can I just say that? People may disagree.
So
with
what
me,
is this? I didn't see your stream. Tell me about what is this game?
So it was a Half-Life
The Steam
Half-Life
box blurb.
1 mod, and now it's a standalone. It was it's been around for a while as the mod, but actually it was just released 2 weeks ago on Steam through Steam Greenlight, and I'd seen PewDiePie. Is that how you pronounce it? That guy?
Oh, that guy.
He screams at those games, and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't connect those two until I got in the game. I realized, oh, this is the same game. But I heard stuff about it. Justin had actually said he heard that it'll make you shit diamonds. Is that right?
That was a quote I read.
Diamonds for a week. And the thing is what I realized. I don't know if I like scary games. I don't think I like scary games. I think I like
the idea of them.
Like tense games. I think I like a few jump scares, but this game, just all kinds of shit was happening, and I thought it was happening. I was scared shitless because I personally had made myself fear everything, dumpsters, and it didn't help that it was in like a European setting.
So
I'm in a new world, huh?
What was happening with the dumpsters in this game?
I didn't trust them. Like when you're playing a game and you see a dumpster and you're like that dumpster doesn't look right.
It's not trustworthy.
And there was nothing to the dumpster. It was just a set piece. It was there, but the game.
What do you expect to be in there?
This tension that I came into a room full of children in trash bags that attacked me. So yeah, fucking anything could be in that fucking dumpster.
Sure.
Yo, yeah, dude. That was the thing. It's Half-Life. It looks like a better looking Half-Life. Okay, they did a lot with it, but still, it's the graphics aren't there. But the fact of the matter is even with the graphics not being great, it was still a scary fucking game. And I got to a point where I heard a kid crying behind like a door, and I was like, I'm done. I pulled it off on the stream because I got to go do other things. I'll be back later on. No.
Dude,
I wasn't going to be
you.
back later on. I was fucking done, man.
I'm with you
Kudos
on this.
to those guys.
I mean, when I was it a couple weeks ago, and I was talking about One Late Night and Slender, the new Slender game. Like I'm the same. Like I'm a wuss, dude. I can't do it. And it's not like, I mean, I'd like to think that I'd be tough in those situations if it was actually happening to me, or like, oh fuck, a snake just came up out of the air conditioning vent. Like I'm gonna try to grab it right behind the head with my bare hands. I will attempt that to save our lives, right? But you tell me if I see like a fucking hand, like a rotting hand come up or a misty hand come up out of that vent, I am going to shit and run in that order. Like I am.
What's the police code for that?
I'm
Shit and run.
I don't know what the police code is for hit and run.
All I know is
It's
187.
about like 55.
Yeah, it's something boring like that. I used to listen to Police Scanner a lot. When I was a kid, we had a police scanner.
I don't know. If
We were bored.
the code for shit and run I mean, I bet the cops seek that out. That's got to be pretty funny breaking their day.
Yeah, that's Code Brown. Code Brown. But yeah, man, I'm with you on that stuff. Like, I like the idea of it, and I watch horror films, and it's the same. And I'm just oh my god, I'm a baby about it. I've got my hands up, kind of near my, like I'll admit it, like whatever. Anybody that says like, oh, it's not, she's not scary, then that's because you're not paying attention or you're too dumb to get it. Like, shut up and go away.
Or they don't try to get into it. Like
Sure.
Well, you have to have
There's no
imagination
effort.
for that shit.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, right. Which means you're a simple person.
Yeah.
Go back to friggin' Winterfell, Hodor. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're too simple for this conversation. Go away. So, scary games, they're bad. Don't play them.
Yeah. Stop.
Hopefully they're
But this one's
slinging beef.
This
like
one's
Hodor.
free. Is the other? Then there's no excuse not to try it and admit to yourself.
And it's got co-op as well.
What? Whoa! Whoa! What are you doing in this game that requires co-op? Are you shooting? You're a lot of shooting?
I don't know. I didn't get into co-op, actually. I only did... There is shooting. Yeah, there is shooting involved with this. You do get guns. And when I first saw it, I saw you have guns, and in one of the scenes you had like a machine gun. I was like, oh, this can't be scary if you got guns. It's one of those... It's like Resident Evil. Resident Evil was scary up until you had guns. And then you were like, you felt okay. It was still a little bit creepy, but whatnot. No, it's still scary. I got a gun, and I didn't feel any safer. In fact, I actually used all of my ammo shooting at things that I don't think were actually attacking me. I was shooting dumpsters. All I did was I just unloaded all of my ammunition. And I realized you talking about that snake thing, I always like to think that I would be the hero, but I just realized if you put a gun in my hand, the minute that I'm frightened, I'm shooting into walls. I'm just cautiously shooting through walls.
I need to
and
go
That's good,
spraying
man.
everything I can see.
The worst thing that could happen is you don't shoot. You're like, and you don't shoot because you freak out. That's like that's the thing that pisses you off the most when you're watching movies, right?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't
Well, I just
shoot.
wouldn't
Like,
wanna
just shoot
shoot you.
something.
Those people.
That's okay.
are
I didn't get killed by a ghost. I got killed by bullets from my friend. Like, why would I not want to go
Like,
out? I would much rather die like
imagine
that.
you grab that snake. You got the snake. You go, guys, I got the snake, and I'm like, oh god, and I just.
Just also hit the snake. Then I would be pissed if you just killed me.
There was a NPC in Neverwinter that looked like Solid Snake. By the way,
Really?
be on the lookout.
Deliberately? Is it
bounty hunter.
obviously?
Has his voice.
Oh, yeah.
What's
his name?
And he has an eye patch.
What's his
Well,
name?
he needs a job now.
No, bounty hunter. He didn't have.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
There's no. What was it, Commander Knox? That guy was badass.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Sorry to derail. Cry of Fear. I need to go back and watch Ethan's stream just to see him play it.
Well, we should just play it co-op, and then you can hear him live and see him in the game, and then you can, while he's frozen with fear, you'll finish the mission, and then he will shoot you. Friendly fire.
Congratulations!
You did it! So, what? Anything else, Ethan?
That's
Most of
about
it?
that's about what I have.
Come on.
That's all she wrote.
What have you spent like 20 hours doing in the past week?
Oh, that's right. Right before we went live with the show.
Okay, well, yeah, I said I wasn't going to talk too much about it, but Don't Starve.
We
man,
haven't talked about it
got
at
inside
all
my
on the
brain.
show.
Oh yeah,
We haven't?
Not
we talked about it. I played
Long
it in
time
November when it first came out, when you could get it on the beta. I played it. I liked it. It was good. It was charming. Love the music. Love the art design. Like the gameplay. It's fun. You're surviving, doing that kind of stuff. But they've added things since then that just feels like a completely different game. All kinds of stuff happening. Wintertime happens, and
Meat effigies.
yeah. I mean, it's just they've. I'm so surprised how much they've added to it, and they took everything out that sucked. I mean, there was a time where you had to actually use upgrade points, and that was kind of annoying. And so it's just a real solid experience, but it's fucking tough. And it's kind of got that roguelike aspect to it, in that, if you die, you're done. Like, you're fucked. And what I've realized is that I die a lot more during like really unexpected events than I do, like enemies killing me or whatnot. Like I always fuck up. Like I set a forest on fire trying to make charcoal.
Hey, when you were dying earlier today when I was watching you play, when you were dying in the darkness from darkness, I don't know why you died. But were you starting over? You were actually like starting from scratch then?
No. You find actually a little circle that you put together and you get one free life, and you can also make meat effigies, which will also give you a free life if you die. So I used that at that point. So it's not full roguelike and that you die, but
but you have to but you have to put in effort to get an extra life. That's
yeah. So,
I don't think any of those diehards are gonna. Hey, if anybody tries to act tough about that, you smack them. You just give them a smack on the cheek.
Well, I will. Well, because dying in this one is much different than dying in just because you put so much time in doing like the oh my god, like the tasks, like here, get all your wood, get all your stone, make your base look nice, make sure you get all this stuff, and so you really don't want to die, but you have to take risks. You know what I mean? And so you're doing these, just kind of. Again, the stuff that in like a Minecraft or Terraria or whatnot, where if you die, like you put a lot of time into building something, and you die, you're going to start back. You may lose some things, but whatnot. That's not that big of a deal. But in this game, like you could have your whole farm going, you could have base set up, and you die. You're done. Like, sorry,
Ethan.
Sorry about your luck,
Ethan. Let's talk about cock wine.
Cock wine is apparently I mispronounce every word or I misread every word that's in chat, and so I was making wine. My character was making wine, or actually I think it was jam. I get jam and wine confused all the time.
Cock jam is much worse.
Cock jam is way worse. But we went into this. So cock wine came up, and we went into this like, we must have talked about it for 45 fucking minutes. Like, we were just about cock wine. Aaron McNeil, who I did not realize is a marketing genius, basically creates this wholesome 1950s-esque like campaign where basically events in history happen, but they happen instead of how they should happen. They happen featuring cock wine, and he actually illustrated which. Fucking hilarious as hell. Like, I saw this as I was playing. You've got Abraham Lincoln. He's sitting in Ford Theater, watching, and then fucking look who sneaks up behind him, and
John Wilkes Booth. Was that a question?
Well, no, I was kind of like in the commercial. You don't know.
Okay.
But then the camera pans to him. It's it's Mr. Booth.
Okay, so you know who it is. Powers Booth?
He's got a menacing...
As
John
I knew.
Oh, no. I was
Powers Booth?
I do know who assassinated Abraham Lincoln. But so he's got a menacing look on his face. And Abraham Lincoln looks back, and then, like, they kind of make eye contact, and then he offers him a glass of cock wine. And, like, history is completely changed. And Red Alert 2 happens as a result. Oh my god, it was absolutely hilarious. Like streaming, like we've been doing a lot more streaming lately, and playing the game is fun. Talking to people is fun. Oh my gosh, hilarious shit. JP was in there, talking to. I mean, everyone really got into Cockwine, and then the funny thing is people that came onto the stream afterwards, like we kept mentioning Cockwine. They're like, "What is Cockwine real? Is it like what are you guys talking about?" And
it's real.
People want to buy it. That's what I'm saying. I have investors. I have people interested in this substance.
Wait, okay,
which I don't even know what it is.
This is an awesome story, but wait, how again did you? What was it you thought someone said, and or what you thought someone said Cockwine? What did they actually say?
I don't know.
So we don't know actually where the origin of this is.
I think it was crock wine.
Crock wine.
Oh,
you were gonna make wine.
Thank you, Chap. Okay.
Yeah, this carried over to my Neverwinter stream where I'm playing with Aaron and I'm trying to get the story.
Well, I didn't know. You said it in an email from an email thread to us, and I I hadn't seen the stream, so I was like, oh shit. Like Cockwine, that's really funny. And that's when I found out that Chardonnay has the words hard on in it.
I appreciated your plays on it because you look like you were just innocently like jumping in.
Yeah, that's
oh,
funny.
Look at this.
That's a
I can
funny
do
thing.
funny things with
Can you pronounce the other
wine
ones?
and penises too.
What are the other brands of cock wine?
Sauvignon Blanc and Penis Grigio.
That's. I had a good laugh at those.
I hope they
Don't
put
Starve,
I hope they
good
put
game.
cock wine in the game.
Me too.
I mean, it's fine. If they do that, I'll bring a meat effigy to your house. Can we just have would that be kind of creepy? If we
I
just
think
had
you already did.
a meat meat effigy just hanging out in the back of the podcast. So you like that game?
Yeah. Gonna have to take a break from it though. I was wedged between that and
Don't starve.
Towns, and you can't have two of those kind of survival simulator like games going back to back because your brain shuts off from reality, and I just can't let that happen. I have to get in and have some more action. It was weird going from BioShock Infinite to Blood Dragon into Towns and Don't Starve. It's like I don't know what I should be doing with life.
I was gonna say the brain. That's not. Those are very hard transitions you've put yourself through.
Yeah. So I do it for the people.
They've enjoyed it, I think. I mean that's. I mean those games are fun to watch. They're pretty interactive and it's been a lot of fun. We got a lot of pro tips from chat, and they've made you into the Don't Starve player that you are.
Well,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I knew nothing about the game, and I was watching his stream earlier, and there was a bunch of people in the chat, and everyone's throwing out this I'm assuming was great advice, but the terms they're using and the stuff they're telling him to do that's not stuff that these aren't words you would use in normal like everyday life. And so it was really weird. It was like, I mean, you were using poop to, I don't know. There was a baby.
Poop is the hottest commodity in this game. Poop is it.
A pig ate a baby, and then you're using poop to make some things, a bunch of different things that are actually called things. It was just the weirdest. It was the weirdest chat I've ever seen for anything, and I don't know anything about this game, and it's
From
making
the
the chat
people
really
that brought
funny.
you Mark of the Ninja.
Yeah, what the hell? What the hell?
Yeah.
This was
Yeah,
the,
man, that's
Weird.
yeah.
This game is weird as
This
shit.
was the team that was pissed to work on Shank 2. Like, we need to do something different. Well,
We have this idea for cock wine.
it's going to haunt us.
But we have to build a game around it.
Justin, have you played video games?
I have been playing a few video games. I've been actually... I don't want to say too much about Torchlight 2 and Borderlands 2 other than I finally played them co-op. I realized I had not played 4-player Borderlands at all. I put 100 hours into Borderlands 1. I had a couple... Mainly played it with 2 or 3 people. 3
Yep.
people very rarely. But we got 4 of us going in Borderlands 2 for the first time last week. And the funniest part was the second we get our first mission, and it's basically like, you need to kill the bullymongs over here, and the bullymongs over here. Like, oh, okay, we got 4 of us. Let's just split up. That's not how the game scales. And but yeah, it's
Nope.
no matter how much you've played these games, it's completely fresh when you have like a group like that. That's kind of what I've learned. I haven't minded going back through the same old content with in both those games. So if you haven't played it solo or haven't played it co-op, make sure you experience both sides because that's been fun. Got really excited for the PlanetSide 2 update. They added something very special. The Harasser buggy. 3-person
Jeeps.
3-person Jeep with guns. A while back, I think I talked about this on the show, finally dumped some money into PlanetSide 2. And it's been sitting there. Because I bought a sniper rifle. And I believe that's the only thing I bought. Because I was using the infiltrator class a lot. But when I saw that buggy, I had to trick that sumbitch out.
What'd you buy?
Bought like the Tron lighting that goes like around the rim. I bought
What?
Yeah,
I've seen the underbody lights.
No,
but I
this
haven't
is
seen
like-
the, like
This is upper body body lighting.
Ooh.
I bought a gold skull. What's that called? Not a headpiece. What's a thing?
Hood ornament?
Hood ornament. Some Grim Reaper decal. And
What's your paint job?
I haven't bought any camo yet because I don't really like the camo.
What they have?
But it's
they have
okay.
like zebra stripes. Why would you not want that?
I don't know. Yeah. Because I get mad. I get mad at the other players that have camo that looks like they're on your team or on one of the other teams.
I haven't seen that.
So
You're still what? They,
yeah.
Are you colorblind?
They're like bluish. Yeah. No, I'm not colorblind.
They're sometimes
And then
they're a little bit different. But
what would be the most important thing to buy for a vehicle in this game?
rims.
The horn.
Oh, I forgot you had to buy the horn, right? Yeah.
So
You do?
yeah.
Yeah, get that my big truck, the big horn on the big truck. I paid cash for that.
I'm pretty sure I got the same
You
horn.
they have to charge for something. The whole damn game is free.
It's
You know?
Oh, but a horn?
It's
You couldn't just
aesthetic.
buy like a helmet, like with a nice
no,
decal?
dude, it's great because there's so many stingy assholes. They won't spend a dime, and they don't have horns. So when I come barreling through my big ass truck,
I spent money.
and I'm like, wah, wah, all these guys are like, what is that? Because they don't hear it that often. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I've never heard anyone else honk a horn.
Or maybe they're just not as excitable as we are.
I honk it constantly. I'm an asshole with my horn. It's fun. It's fun as hell.
So I was completely distracted. Otherwise, I think they made some other big updates, but that was like
Whatever,
their
dude.
update.
Let's talk about Jeeps. It's the sloppiest, loosest looking thing. Like, it looks fun.
It's a lot of fun.
The suspension is basically cock jam. It's I don't know what they're using, but it's not springs. It's something much gooier than that. It's just the whole thing. The wheels are just like and it just sliding everywhere.
I think it took me all of about 90 seconds to flip the thing and blow up, though. How
do you turn that over? The suspension is great.
Have you seen me drive in that game?
No?
I find ways. Oh, I basically, after I figured out how to turn the lights on and be as obnoxious as possible, I just drove off into the horizon and.
Or you need to remap headlights and horn to your thumb buttons on your mouse because you can just slam on them constantly.
And I think that first hill I did a flip over it. After I'm pretty sure there was a dude in one of the flying vehicles he was shooting at me and he was on my team and I think he was annoyed that I had my lights on and we were losing the war on this planet and I just was obviously going off to do nothing and he seemed to be annoyed with me, but hopefully I gave him a good laugh when I just immediately flipped the thing and blew it up.
The war on terror wasn't won by headlights. Like, what the hell? There's not like, oh, I see some light. Yeah, well, your computer systems are going to see the things before you do visually. Like, you got like radars and lock-ons and whatever, dude. Don't listen to those people. You turn your headlights on. You flash those brights. You honk that horn. Man, I hope that your gold rims are like gleaming in the moonlight. I hope that it's like, oh shit, I'm getting they get this glint, and then they get kind of blinded for a second. Like, what is that?
The platoon's
a
coming.
mighty steed? Oh yeah, oh god, we need reinforcements, and then it's just a buggy, and you're just honking and shooting.
Yeah, I do. I look like the the leader of a giant squadron, and no one's gonna follow me anywhere because I can't keep the thing upright.
Mm-hmm.
So.
At dawn on the third day, look to the east. You'll see my buggy ramping shit, honking.
I just want one Gandalf quote for trucks. I think I have maxed out on my soloing ability in that game, though. I need to run around with at least 3 people. It's kind of my
time to join a big outfit, or we need to start something big and great. Something bigger than us. Basically, what I mean is something run by someone else. because we don't have what it takes to be leaders.
No hoe night. No hoe outfit.
Hoe night. No.
We could, but if
not.
somebody wants to, who wants anybody in chat? If you want to be completely in charge of that and just tell us where to be at, we may do it. I might follow orders. I might just go off lone wolf style.
I think Cole and I are going to try to play it every other week at least here with our other live night.
Yeah, I played on a regular basis, but in order to have a really good time and really affect everything, you're gonna have to have a pretty good size outfit.
I just want to just fill up asunder and I'm happy. So, but I do like that the buggy it's a 3-seater, which I think that's a good number. I find myself in trios more often than...
Yeah, there were only 2-seaters in the first Planetside. So that's what you get when you get sequels. You get to add seats to cars.
It's first on their list. Ethan, I don't think we talked about this, but I finally broke down and ordered Cubivore online and streamed that a couple weeks ago. I think it was a painful stream for everybody involved. But I'm glad I'm glad I have that game in my collection because it's certainly a memorable one. It's my second GameCube stream. So, what I forgot was that game started out as a Nintendo 64 game. There's no reason that thing needs to be on the GameCube.
I forgot how it looked. Like now that it was supposed to be a minimalist game, but it was minimalist.
That's what I was saying. You could write off a certain bit of its style, but it's just like there's really not much here, and it can get pretty frustrating. The controls are really, really frustrating. You can see my patience just completely wore out with the game. I was trying to hunt this one creature, and the way the lock-on was working, combined with the way that I had evolved, I was kind of having to move sideways. And I could not catch the thing. And I only had to hit it one more time, and it took like 20 minutes to...
You couldn't shuffle towards it fast enough?
No, it just kept jumping away. It was... So, yeah, that game doesn't hold up.
Would that be a shuffle or a shimmy? That maneuver, that move.
Shimmy has some hips in it. Shimmy seems more like
he's
playful.
Hopping too, though.
Shuffles, you shuffle. But you shimmy, you mean it. Like you intend to shimmy.
Then you were shimmying towards this.
I forgot about the racism. The game's all about colors. It's all about light and dark meat.
And if it was made today, it would be offensive. But back then, games weren't trying to be pretentious art with a message.
Back in 2.
Yep.
Yeah. So that exists in my library. Got that out of the way. And
good for you. Congratulations.
I think lastly, just our arcade challenge stuff. Frogger's a terrible game.
So is that this week's or
that was
last
week's? That was last week's, and it was.
What problems do you have with Frogger?
It's boring. It's not exciting. It's not rewarding. There was nothing that pulled anybody in to play it or to watch it in our entire group. And it might be just the slow pace originally, but it's just like this is the first game where the competition, nobody cared. Nobody was interested in trying to push the limits. It was just like, oh, he got quite a bit higher than everybody else, so we'll all kind of wait for the
Are you still upset from the DX version?
I think that opened my eyes a bit. What was that stupid? Because we wanted it to be Pac-Man Championship Edition.
Yeah, and instead it was like just Frogger with some isometric 3D graphics and some shit palette swapping going on with like, look at this Contra and Castlevania themes to this Frogger level.
Did you know that Frogger is owned by Konami? That was pretty much what those.
Ugh. Yeah, I mean I don't like Frogger so much, but it's a classic game that requires the same kinds of reaction and skill as you get. After the first couple levels, it gets harder.
I guess just the highs weren't there, or the pursuit of those.
But you play so you did Joust, you did Donkey Kong,
and then before Frogger we did Smash TV.
Smash TV.
I think we started that, and
that's fun. That's way different. This is than the others.
That game was a lot of fun because we hit a wall with it in our going for points. Because first we're running through the game, and we're all getting to about the same spot, but we're trying to figure out the nuances of getting more points. And we're noticing all the cash and gold that drops on screen. You don't get shit for it. So we started kind of altering our game plans to just go after the power-ups, try to stay alive as long as possible. And for the longest part of the week, the goal was to break 1 million. And for the longest part of the week, we couldn't top 700,000. Somebody finally broke through, got 1 million because he got to the money room that had all these prizes, and it boosted him up, and he survived the next tank wave. And then I had a run where I got to that point and kind of held my breath. There were 2 guys watching me, and I should have died on multiple occasions, but I broke through and I got to the end boss. I got to the first stage's boss, Mutoid Man, who's the...
Yep.
And I don't know what happened. I've watched YouTube videos since, and he doesn't really move all that much, but he kind of just got stuck in the corner, and I beat him without dying, and it was just... It was ridiculous. I felt like I'd kind of cheated the game, but it was legit. And then, at that point, I had I had 1,200,000, and I'd beaten our 1,100,000 guy. And then it congratulations, you beat the first round. And then it adds up everything you've picked up, and it just the score went through the roof, and it was cruel at that point because it jumped to 3 million. And then level 2 is unfair. So that game was a lot of fun. It's really fun to play that on just the 1 credit. And then at the end of the week, once the competition was over, we said, okay, we've got to beat Smash TV. And the game's not any fun after a stage and a half of it because it just...
How many credits does it take?
We lost track because after a certain point, the enemies are too fast and too many, and they're just pumping quarters out of you. And then
do you have 2 joysticks for everyone?
Yeah, no, we could only play it 1 player, but we used the 2 joysticks.
Okay.
So we rigged it that way. So, and then the big disappointment was it loops around. There's 3 major stages, 3 major bosses. The final boss is Mutoid Man, except he looks like the announcer. It's they duplicated.
I think that was in the Nintendo version too, the NES one.
Oh, it was really frustrating.
I remember that.
Those games just don't know the games that you're never really supposed to see the end. They don't really know how to end them, and so it was really, really frustrating. Because we put an hour into getting there, and just I played through half the game, and I was I'm done, and somebody just jumped in to finish it because it's this isn't even any fun at this point.
I'm surprised it's that long. Most arcade games are not that long.
We just kept dying. It was silly. This week's game is Rampage. That's going really, really well because that game's hard. I thought the rounds would be really slow, but they're actually pretty quick because you're constantly taking damage and you only have 1 life. And the strategy becomes not destroying the buildings, but trying to find soldiers to eat to keep your level up while you're destroying stuff and trying to redo your strategy there. So. Curious to see. We've already kind of feels like we've maxed out our score, and because we're just jostling at the top. But I'm wondering if there'll be a breakthrough moment or not, because it's not like you can get an extra guy, or it's not really set up that way.
You know what? I think I'd be okay with some more Rampage.
They killed it there for a while, all the World Tour stuff. But there's something.
World Tour was fun.
There's something really fun about that formula.
Give me a you know what? Give me a different perspective. Get first person Rampage.
Survival horror. I did that with Dig Dug.
I don't know. It's not. I like the idea of
monster games.
Not just smashing buildings, but that you're climbing up, you're eating. The premise of Rampage sounds you're Godzilla and King Kong, and you're just knocking down buildings and stuff, but you're constantly getting boned, and not just from stuff shooting you, which there's that stuff flying over the top and tanks and cops and stuff, but you're eating. It's really, I think it's a game about dieting, because you constantly have to watch what you eat.
Don't eat the dynamite.
That's what kills me. It's don't eat the toilet. eat the people. Like eat the food. Don't eat like things that are gonna electrify you.
The cactus.
Don't eat poison. Don't eat Don't eat cactus. Cacti. Cacti. I think I'm going with that.
I'll take a look at that. See how to evolve that game, because I don't. Outside of like King of Monsters and that kind of stuff, I don't like when you.
There was a game on PlayStation 3. What's it called?
I know what you're talking about.
I played it. I thought it was awesome. You could make your own monster. You could add different body parts and stuff, and you just.
But it's always.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they did.
But those aren't those the.
Not quite the same.
It's
though.
1 versus 1 monster in the city's just kind of your playground. Like
yeah.
No, that was your whole goal was to destroy the city.
Yeah, this one was like co-op. Like you could just you just smash stuff. See, I went something where like you're climbing a building and you're not bigger than the building necessarily, but you specifically are just eating everything, and you're just trying to like figure out like what's the stuff that's going to make you sick or not. Like I think
Prototype.
If you were a big monster, sure.
I think anytime you introduce the kind of the third dimension into that formula, it changes into a completely different game. Like I don't know, is there anything more you can do with the 2D? I don't know. There's got to be something to add, because the game's a lot of fun. Also, this was the first one where we've been playing all the arcade emulations of these so far, but just I realized how many console versions of Rampage I played, and it's like, oh yeah, the arcade version looks so much better than the ones that I spent the most time with. So, it's been coming off of Frogger. We're having a much better week.
Rampage, much better game than Frogger. I think that's it. Yeah, most people would agree.
Frogger, it just made me mad.
It's like to me, it's fine. It's not offensive, but it's just, yeah.
It's just not up there in the ranks.
For it.
The ranks that it sometimes gets elevated to just for when it came out. Yeah. I don't get it with that one.
The best Frog game is Zuma.
It's a pretty good game. Or
it's a pretty good game.
Chrono Trigger, I guess, would be the best. Well, okay.
Frog Fractions.
Oh, okay. There's a lot better games. Okay,
that was the main suggestion. Like we should stop. We should stop playing this and just play Frog Fractions.
Okay, that is the best game. Ethan, did you play that? Did you play Frog Fractions?
I only remember Number Munchers.
This was like pretty recently. It's the game that has way more to it than meets the eye. We talked about it. Everyone's got to play it. Well,
yeah, no.
Put it back on the list because it's awesome.
Frog
you
my
would.
Fractions suck.
I promise you would love it. It is not, and just trust me, it is not what you expect.
Do not look anything.
No, just play it. Don't read about it at all.
Okay.
But be prepared for surprises. Big surprises. Okay.
Have you been playing anything?
Speaking of arcades,
I saw it. It looks like a little thing.
Ethan, can I get my theme song?
He's drank a lot.
Damn it, God! You did last week. You did the Tool Time song. You had a song. You made up a song for me,
dude. I gotta write these things down. I think of a new song every day.
Okay, well,
Tools with John. I don't know.
Yeah, well, all right, whatever. So, yeah, last time Ethan had a cute song. Go back and listen to it. So the machine is ready for paint. It's
standing up
mechanically. It's done. Besides, I need to install some hinges. So I can get access from the front and the back. I don't see how anybody gets access from just the front. Like that, you know what I mean? Like you just
what it needs is some cock jam and some hinges.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I feel like I just really need access from the back. I feel like I deserve it.
It is standing up.
Yeah,
you've earned it. You've earned it.
Yeah, I've worked really hard on this thing for a long time. I should get access from the rear. So back to the arcade system. No, so I actually last night I was at the point where I had the control panel I had installed these clamps that hold it down. Like that was like a big pain in the ass. How the hell do you fasten it down but make it removable that does not involve screws? You could do something with bolts, but at this point I was like, I don't want to add any more wood inside of here. And I'm not going to just use MDF and bolts. Like that just seemed like a bad idea. So I'm going to, put these clamps in and just hold it down. Put them in. First try. It's perfect. Yes, that's great. And I'm looking at it going, shit, I just wish this was going. I just want to play it right now. Because I still need to buy some paint. But God, I don't want to go through all this trouble of wiring a control panel, which is a pain in the ass.
That'll be one of my major hurdles.
And, it's like 40 wires. And at least I'm not soldering. I've got ones that just like screw in to terminals. But wiring it all up. And I thought, like, because I don't have to undo it because I have to pull that stuff off to paint the control panel. Well, I did it anyways. I was going to go to bed, and I said, I'll just go ahead and start. There's some stuff I can put on that won't have to come off because I'm not painting the back of it. So sometime this morning, I was done. Like all of it was wired up, and I just put the computer in. I already had the monitor mounted in, so I wired it up, turned it on, and I played some games. I played a bunch of games. I played games today. When Kylie got home, we played some games together. She just walks up, puts a virtual quarter in.
Gives you a quarter?
And, yeah. And we played some Narc.
It's a good choice.
Which is, I don't know if you remember this game really well. Very crazy. You kill a lot of hobos. A lot of fat hobos. And I think they're naked under their trench coats, because when you kill them like a regular, like just without blowing them up, which sends body parts flying, if you just kill them regularly, they fall down and the trench coat kind of opens up a little bit. And it looks like you see like a bare belly, and I think you see, I don't know, I think there's skin everywhere else too. So you're killing hobos, and then these goddamn dogs come at you, and so the game it's a 4-button game, and you've got shoot, jump, missiles, because you guys got 2 guns, a missile launcher and a machine gun, and then you have a 4th button is crouch, and so you have to hold down crouch, and you can shoot low, and you have to do that to hit the dogs, and but the dogs, once they're up on you and biting you, your gun basically like extends past them, so you can't shoot them. You got to move away and then shoot. Such big pain in the ass. I remember playing this in arcades, and I remember it being cool. I don't remember it being this hard. And I guess I just, probably only played like 1 or 2 quarters at a time. I mean, oh my God, you could spend $20 on this damn game without getting past like stage 2. Well, as soon as the dogs show up, you're boned. But then, like, you're at the stage where you're on a bridge and you get in that red Porsche and you're like driving, just running over all the hobos, and it's real satisfying. But then there's obviously dumpster blockades, roadblocks that the hobos put up. Then you run into it with your car and it explodes. So you got to get a new car. It's goddamn Narc. The war on drugs back then in that early 90s was heavy, man.
I mean, that was the epitome of those games that started with what was that warning? It wasn't just say no to drugs. What's the phrase?
Winners don't use drugs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Coop and I played that. That was the one game we beat at the Louisville Arcade Expo. And did you get to the end?
No, we quit. We didn't get that far.
You'll spend $20 getting to the end, and like another $20 on Mr. Big, because he's a cheap motherfucker.
Yeah. So we played. What else? We played another. What the heck else did we play together? I'm trying to remember what else. I think Kylie's in the chat. She may actually tell me what the other one was.
Golden Axe.
I played but I looked at it. I played some Sunset Riders, which is awesome. We played Contra. That's right.
Contra Arcade.
Arcade Contra. I always had a lesser opinion of it. Mm-hmm. It's actually awesome. It's way better. It's way better than I ever had given it credit for. It's really solid. It's really good, and it is actually a lot like the NES version. But there's a weird so it's different. Like, so when you're playing co-op, when one player dies, they don't get to, even if you got quarters in, you don't get to come back to life until the other player is still alive, until they lose their lives, and then you both continue. But it doesn't reset you all the way back. Like, we were in the middle of a boss fight and we died, and then it let us continue in the boss fight. So the checkpointing system is actually okay. That was kind of a weird thing. But once you do, I don't know how many, 3 continues or something, whatever it was, it actually does game over, even with quarters in. And I don't remember anything doing that.
That's just me.
That lets you continue, but on a limited amount of times.
Would be a dick, Contra.
That was weird. Yeah. So that was pretty tough. We got through like 3 stages.
We played a little bit of that, and
Or 2 stages.
like the base levels, like level 2. What was that? They did. What did they do different? Like
when you get to the end of a hallway, you move left or right or something. But
was that it?
Then everything else is exactly the same.
Okay, maybe it was,
even the same tactics work. Like when all the guys are shooting or bullets are coming at you, you can just do the thing where you're just jumping and shooting constantly, just flipping back and forth. You know them, or just lie down and just shoot. And the rolly things blow up just like they normally do. They do have boxes, like crates, at the end of those hallways in the base levels, where sometimes you have to blow those up to get to the thing behind it.
Yeah, it was just all the transitions.
But like everything else, it's got that skinnier vertical orientation to the monitor, and the graphics are a little different. And when the dudes flip, they look goofy as shit. But it's the same game, and it feels really good. The shooting feels good. That's pretty solid. It's good stuff. Let's see. Then play some Elevator Action Returns. I don't know. I just played like a bunch of stuff, but it's a quarter or 2 a piece, in a lot of these. It feels so good. I really, really like the buttons and the joysticks that I got.
And how do you feel about the bats versus the balls? You went with bats.
Yeah, I like the bats. I think the bats are really smooth. These are the I should say, all my hardware is from Groovy Game Gear, and they take HAP parts, like their competition stuff, and they replace the switches and sometimes other parts too. So they'll take them and make them better. So like your actuator was a different piece of plastic there. The switches are different. I've got they've got the sticks have these, what they call Versa micro switches, which are they're pretty solid. And on my buttons, I've got the leaf switches, so they're like the old school. They don't take much to push them. And I really, when I was just pounding on it in Contra to try to take out a boss or whatever, man, you can hit those things super fast. Track and field would be very easy on these buttons. Really, really good quality. So, yeah, that's fun.
Are there any big games in your sights? Like, what have you been? Something you're really looking forward to?
There are a shit ton of shoot 'em ups. Like I've been through MAME before. I've been through that list, but holy crap, Hyperspin makes life very, very good for a MAME, an arcade emulator cabinet owner. So if you've got all the themes installed and all the movies in, when you're browsing through all those games and it shows you a video of each game in action so you can see what the hell it is, oh god, it's so much better than that trial and error of like, oh, that game, oh, that name sounds cool. It's like, oh, it's an 81 and the graphics are kind of I'm not what I'm looking for right now. That's great. If I'm looking for something, modern shmup kind of thing, there's so many of them though. So I've got a bunch of them I've like put in the favorites, and so I'm kind of looking forward to a lot of that like 1942 kind of style of slower stuff, and then maybe getting into some of the bullet hell, Dodonpachi and was it ESP Galuda or whatever, and
I'm looking forward to
Semi Futari
showing up for
whatever.
A podcast recording and interrupting some shmup zen. Dude, we got to do the show.
Yeah, get in the zone. Yeah, I did play. I played some In the Hunt, which was that was the Metal Slug team before they were like before they were
The Metal Slug team?
I think it was before they were actually part of that SNK in-house or Neo Geo, whatever, bunch. But it looks, the art style is exactly the same. It feels just like a Metal Slug game, but you're in a fucking submarine. It's awesome. You're underwater. You're in a sub. You got one button that shoots torpedoes and depth charges, and another button that shoots
I think I know what you're talking about.
And when you get there's like stuff above that. So you always have the surface of the water up the scroll. If you scroll up to the top of the screen, there's stuff dropping bombs, and you can go up there and shoot at them.
Kind of sounds like UN Squadron underwater.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and it is really, really good. Like really good. You can get it you can actually play it on the PC. It's part of a pack that you can buy off of like Desura or one of those one of the other kind of PC things. I can't remember what the pack's called, but and then it was on like PlayStation and Dreamcast or Saturn or something. But that game is awesome. If you like Metal Slug games, you would love In the Hunt. So yeah, arcades going really well. I'm looking forward to playing some more stuff. I want to say too, last night while I was putting stuff together, I threw on some episodes of Nick Arcade
So
on the
bad.
TV.
The games their game selection always pisses me off because
Their game selection was awesome when I was watching it. Tell me, complain, and I'll tell you were wrong.
No, just like as a kid, you wanted to play like recognizable things, but they had to get basically like the second tier Sega games, basically.
Yeah, there was a lot of like Sega stuff, and there was but
the licensing on that had to be a nightmare.
They had one where what's her name from
Moira from Guts?
Shit. No. Clarissa explains it all. Melissa Joan Hart as like a little, that was weird because she was tiny. They had like the cast on there, and their games they had were like Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I think, and then they had like Ghosts and Goblins, or Ghouls and Ghosts, and some bunch shooters, Alpha Mission and whatever. Actraiser was on there.
The host always trying to, in their 90-second clip of playing the game, trying to explain the game and teach them how to play it and reacting to them. It's like you're not on anybody's side. You're not doing anybody any favors.
No, dude, that's my takeaway from watching those is that was the hardest working dude in show business that no one ever appreciated. What was his name? His name was Phil something. I don't remember his last name, but absolutely the hardest working dude. Every second of that show, he is at he's running 100% energy capacity, and he is making jokes on the way to the podium from the arcade things, back and forth. He's doing little dances every time that little song comes on. Do 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 do. He is doing what I just did, or he's dancing, or he's making up words to it. He's making up songs every single show.
And he's recorded like 6 of these today.
Right, and he's just so pumped. God damn it, he's pumped. That's the kind of guy who loves life so much. Like you want to be around him. Like everyone wanted to be around that guy, I bet. Unless it was coke induced. Then maybe not so much.
This is the tail end of that era, right?
Yeah. There were people playing for like AIDS foundations and stuff like that, and I was thinking like, that must be around that must be like awareness time early on, and I'm thinking
it's early 90s.
So that must be tail end of the coke era. So yeah, he probably could have been doing a little bit of coke.
Or he just, had some left in the system.
Yeah.
After years and years.
Yeah, possibly. But I don't know, he seemed pretty cool. He just seemed like genuinely like this guy just loves everything. And kids, he liked kids. He liked grown men. It didn't matter who was on the show. He was really glad they were there. Yeah, and he would just be like, one time the camera comes back on him after they came back from the arcade things, and he's upside down, and he's like, dun dun dun, dun upside down, ha, and just who does that? People that love life.
Oh,
Nick Arcade, YouTube, check it out. All the episodes are there.
I wonder if he went out for drinks with Olmec.
Olmec?
Ethan, can you at least help me out on that one?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
What's
Legends of the Hidden Temple, man.
Oh, I never watched that show.
Okay.
I didn't have Nickelodeon for a good portion of my childhood. I had it in spurts because we didn't have our main cable company we had for the most of my life did not have Nickelodeon. They didn't provide it.
I thought this was a podcast I could make Olmec jokes on, but
sorry,
fell
I'm
hard.
sorry. I know what it is. I know now. I'm sorry. I'll correct it someday when it goes on Netflix or I have a late night YouTube.
I think there's actually
session.
I saw some indie game. I don't know if it was a screenshot, just like an artistic rendering, or somebody actually made a retro platformer in the style of Legends of the Hidden Temple, like the arena.
Yeah, I remember this. This was a thing.
This is like recently I saw.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, and then I mentioned it earlier, but Marvel Heroes. Last time we were here, the NDA was still going on.
Oh, it's up,
and it's done now. So people are streaming and talking and whatever. So now I can tell you that the game's pretty good. It's
How many hours have you put into it?
A lot, just so much. I played so much. This is Kylie and I's game right now. We've been playing it so much. It's Diablo. It's David Brevik from the original Diablo, the Blizzard North team, and he's making another Diablo game, and it just so happens that it's a Marvel license, and instead of character classes, you have Marvel heroes, as each of them is like their own class, and there's like 20 some, and they all play like different classes in one of these games, which is really crazy. And it's going to suffer in the length department as far as the content because of it. I'm sure there'll be people that'll burn through it all. However, those same people would hopefully, if they're Marvel fans, they're going to want to play other characters, and that's kind of that's the thing. I mean, I know I'm getting the itch because we're in like the last level. We're about to beat it, and so I definitely looking forward to starting to level up a different guy, going through it again and stuff. They're still working on it. It's in beta. There's like a really big patch coming real soon, maybe this week, that's going to change a lot of stuff around. They haven't detailed all of that yet, what it's going to change. They kind of keep that stuff guarded until it pops. So we'll see, how that stuff changes. They need to do something different with like the crafting system. They've been tweaking that a lot, but there is a crafting system, so you're collecting little bits and pieces, particles, and which take up a lot of inventory space, which hopefully that gets fixed. But it just overall, just like smashing stuff is fun, shooting stuff is fun. Some of the characters are maybe more fun than others, but
Who are your favorites?
Like the Hulk. When you smash stuff, stuff goes flying, and that's really fun. The Hulk, he's angry. You always see him, and he's strong, and he's angry, but he's also really fast. Like, guess what? The Hulk is really fast. Like, when he jumps, and he jumps over several buildings, it's because like he's got strong legs. He can't fly, but he just jumps over cities. So he's wound up pretty tight, and in the game, you feel like he has this smash move where he jumps in the air and just stomps. And it is super fast. It just boom, boom, boom. You just hammer it. And when he comes flying, like, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of people in the beta that play as him. But, man, when he rolls in, when you're in like an open zone, it has MMO style, zones. When you're in an open area and a Hulk comes through, everything dies. He's overpowered. I'm sure people would bitch about that. But it's a Hulk, dude. It's like the most powerful dude ever. Like, you literally can't kill him. And Thor's super fun. He can smash the crap out of stuff, and you can also throw a lot of lightning around.
Sing a theme.
Like to throw the hammer a lot. I like throwing Mjolnir. That's really fun. Throw it and it comes back. Like, that's fun. Captain America, I didn't like through the first 10 levels or so, and then later on, and then he got started to get really fun as I got some fun skills, and he's got a bunch of acrobatic skills, so you're like jumping over stuff, backflipping, all that kind of stuff, and then you're beating dudes up and you're throwing the shield. He's got a ton of buffs, leadership kind of stuff, Cyclops the same way. But man, that shield, when you hit a guy in the mouth with the shield.
I'm sorry, when they add the leadership buff, I just interpret that as they couldn't come up with something else.
Well,
what else can we get? What else is like? What's the benefit of having Cyclops in your group?
Well, okay, so him and
you're gonna
Captain
obey the
America
rules.
are both master tacticians, and so the whole idea behind those characters, like as leaders of the team, are to lead dudes into battle, make them more efficient and stuff. So, like the Michael Jordan makes everybody else better. Same way, but so you get to pick your buffs.
That might be more of the Phil Jackson. I don't think they're your star player.
He's more like
too.
Nick Fury. Phil Jackson is behind the scenes. He's preparing, but once you're in the field, who is it? Michael Jordan. Phil's not on the court passing you the ball or dunking on somebody and then getting you motivated to maybe dunk yourself. Maybe you're like Will Perdue and you're like, I'm just a big white guy. What am I gonna do? And Michael's like flying. You're like, I want to fly too. And then so you do a little a hook shot or something, and it makes you feel good.
That's like flying.
Wasn't Michael
Cyclops.
Jordan let go from the Wizards because he was too distracting?
I think he quit from the Wizards because
he was old and they sucked. And he
was old and he was done.
Oh.
So Cyclops does hook shots.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I've played a bunch of them, a bunch of characters, and they're all really fun.
I just think it's funny. You've been playing this for so long, and we've been so anxious to talk about it, and now we can. And it's just kind of like, yeah.
I've been playing it for months. I've been playing it for like 60 hours or some shit. It's if you like those Diablo games, you're gonna love this one. My only concern really is for people that because it's free to play. And if they don't change things before launch, and it's gonna be officially, launched when. By the way, no, Krug Dog. Sorry, you cannot play as Jubilee. I think it's gonna launch in 3 weeks. I think it's like 3 weeks. If before then they don't change the drop rate on the stuff that you would normally have to buy in the store, meaning characters and costumes, if they don't change that, and costumes. I get it. That's got to be the thing people spend the most money on. But characters, there's going to be, I think, 26 characters at launch, and there's 5 available just when you start. It's like free. And then the rest of them, you have to either buy them with cash, which we don't know what the prices are going to be yet because we don't know the price of like the funny money. But we have funny money in the beta to buy things with, and some of the characters are more expensive than others. Iron Man, most expensive dude in the game. Obvious reasons, right? Or they can drop on the ground. And I have seen very few characters drop. In all my time playing, I think I've picked up 2 dudes.
It's 60 hours.
Yeah. There was a week where they increased the drop rates for the costumes, but so they can tweak it. It's just it's a database of numbers. I mean, they can tweak it instantly, but they need to make some of that stuff easier for the drops, because if the only way to get it is to pay, some of those characters is to pay money, or if it feels that way, like that's the same thing. If I play for 20 hours and I don't get another dude, might as well have to pay for them. That's how I feel with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's gonna piss a lot of people off because it's not, that's just because you can't try them out first. Like, what if you spend like $10 or $15 on a character like Iron Man, like whatever the most expensive ones, and then they suck and you didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, you don't like it, that's to me. There's the potential that they're gonna really screw up with the free to play model here, and there's plenty of examples of how to do it right. But they're just hedging all their bets on these tons of unique character classes, and they're doing something that's different. That is different. Like, no one has done this style of game with that many character classes. That's cool, but they better make it easier to get them, or just really cheap. And I'm worried, So they've got the founders packs, and you can go buy those and get characters you want, and with some extra money and stuff like that. And it's supposed to be good. It looks like a good deal on paper, when we've got those. But I'm just glad I got to try out a bunch of dudes in beta. So when it launches, if we aren't burned out by the time it launches.
I mean, did they cut you off as far as any of the content goes? I mean, do you?
No.
So, I mean, have you?
We're playing the game. We're seeing everything.
You've beaten the game.
Almost, yeah. We're there now. There's like some stuff that missions we can't finish because something's not done.
I wonder what they're.
Almost all of it is there. Like, I would say 95% of it is done.
Their long tail can't hinge on just character purchases. I mean, I'll be.
I mean, they're gonna have to add content, and they've said they're gonna add, chapters and stuff, but they're gonna add a lot. It's gonna be a lot of like adding characters. I mean, they're gonna play off that crowd, you know, the Marvel crowd, adding the fan favorites, and you know, but they've got some weird. So they got all the Avengers and X-Men and stuff you might expect. Some that are in as NPCs but not playable, but you know they're gonna, you know, like Gambit. Everyone wants Gambit. They're gonna get Gambit in there. That's gonna happen, you know. Like Beast is not playable, but he's hanging out. But then they got like weird ones. Like they've got Squirrel Girl.
Oh, okay.
From like the
Conker's
comedy.
Bad Fur Day?
No, she's basically a joke character. It doesn't even make sense. And then like Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy. Like what the hell?
Yeah, I saw he's been in some like of the cover shots.
They must be pandering to furry lovers or something. Maybe that's like a thing. They think like, oh, people, hey, we got to have some people in here with some tails.
Our marketing guys told them
fur. Because if we don't, like, could have put Sabretooth in. He's kind of furry. Wolverine's pretty damn furry.
I don't think Sabretooth does any yiffing.
No, I don't think so. But yeah, so Marvel Heroes open beta right now. So
out in
I
June?
think, yeah, out in June. It's an action RPG, and it's a pretty competent one. So, other than that, play some SimCity.
Did you really?
4. It was on sale on Steam. I own it on something else or CD, but it was like $5, and had the game with the expansion, and it was gonna and it'll just work. Yeah, sure, I'll take it. And man, it's got widescreen support and everything. It's a good looking game, runs great.
Best SimCity game of the year?
Yeah, man, it's fun. You know what? If you're getting a hankering because you saw that new SimCity, go play SimCity 4. It's a lot better, and it's real cheap. Yeah, so,
I'm sold.
Yeah, it was cool. It all started coming back to me as I was playing the tutorial city. So when the tutorial was done, it was like, you want to keep playing the city? You can, sure. And then I turned it into it was like low taxes for poor people. I was doing Obamacare in my city, and played for like 30 or 40 years in game time. And they kicked me out because we went bankrupt and I couldn't take out any more loans. I was like $200,000 in debt and loans, and the land we needed landfills. There was garbage piling up in the city. At one point, I accepted an offer for this mysterious, scientist to open up a lab outside the city.
Sounds like a foolproof plan.
I needed the money, and some things started going wrong there, and he started draining everyone's power, and I couldn't afford more power, and I don't know. It went really bad, and that was the first time I ever I realized you could actually lose in SimCity. Like they just boom, they kick you out to the menu and say you've been fired. I never saw that. I didn't know. So yeah,
how's it feel to have that many NPCs hate you?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, at least you don't see their faces. Like, I kind of like that you don't have that connection to the individual people like you do in the new one. Like you don't have like whatever Joe Schmo, the whatever. Like, you don't have people sending you letters or anything like that. You don't watch them go to their work and get denied at the door because the place closed down, and then go home and kill their kids or something.
How much did you miss the fact that you couldn't play next to my city and have our cities work together?
Not so much. I just I sent roads to the edge of the screen, and it said, "Oh, you're doing commerce and trading now."
Well, I think
it's like, that's neat.
SimCity 2.0 patch came out last week, maybe.
Yeah,
and they've already announced the 3.0 patch.
Right,
like, it's just
to repair things that are broken still from the start. Do they have the cheetah speed back?
I don't think so.
I couldn't live without that. I used it constantly in 4.
Thing is,
how dumb is that?
Hey, Sims 4. Wait for it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's funny. I'm glad. I've almost crossed that bridge, but I don't own any of them yet. But, so SimCity 4 or SimCity 2000?
4.
Okay.
4. It actually still holds up graphically, I think, too. It's got all the modern stuff in there, and it looks good, and you can drive cars, which it's not really that fun, but you can do it if you really feel like you got to drive cars. Yeah, so that's it. That's my game plan. That's all I got.
That was
So.
an interesting journey. You were all over,
Yep.
all over the place in
Yep.
time.
Yep.
Games that aren't out yet.
Nope. HorribleNight.com updates. Justin, you got anything?
A few things. What's going on here? So we're gonna have a second live show each week. Cole and I are still nailing down the schedule. We'll kind of let you guys know week to week, but it's looking like this week we're gonna be live Thursday with another kind of test run of our podcast, and we're gonna game after all those shows. Most of the time we will go on Mondays, but Thursdays are our backup if we can't do a Monday show. So a second live podcast featuring Cole, myself, and guests from Horrible Night, and then gaming after the show. We're going to try to do co-op gaming and some of our multiplayer nights with the community. We're working on a few things behind the scenes so you guys can get in on voice chat for some of our sessions and that sort of thing. So look forward to more cooperative game sessions that from that show.
Are we building a house? Are people going to be able to come and visit or move in?
I think in that you're with all your tools. Isn't that phase 2? Is you build like an arcade machine, a dog house, and then
a dog house?
And then a house.
We'll need dog houses for all of us. I'm sure we do that shit.
And then with that, we're starting to play. At least we're starting to narrow down a few games that we're playing on a regular basis, and especially ones that are open to the community. I'm going to post the info of what servers we're playing, what games we're actively playing, so you guys can quickly find that information if you want to jump in and play with us. So that's coming along with our streaming schedule. As you can see, Ethan's been streaming a lot more lately. I have too, and I think Aaron will be starting streaming here soon, and Josh has threatened it in the past. So, and then
I haven't got any farther than that, but yeah.
And then we've got a few more longer videos that have been going up on YouTube. Ran into some interesting issues with posting playthroughs of certain games. Some publishers have deals with YouTube to basically block that content. Like we're going to post Ethan's entire Blood Dragon playthrough, but we've got some hurdles to jump through on that because
it's dumb because if there are other people that have them up already. It's like some arbitrary, automated yet arbitrary thing. Like, oh, you know what? There's 100 videos up. Let's take 5 of them and block them. This is the dumbest. It's dumb. This is not the first time this has happened to us.
Right. So you'll see that playthrough, and then we're wrapping up the Injustice playthrough. That video's got 2 more episodes to go, and those will be up this week. And hopefully doing more of that. We're hopefully gonna have more sessions like that where we can play through games. So trying to do more playthroughs and more kind of open gaming sessions on our streams coming up. So that's where we're focused on the video side.
Cool. Yeah, so guys, if you're listening to this on the interwebs post-recording, horriblenight.com is our website. Go to there, check out all the great articles from all of our awesome writers. I'm not included in there. I don't submit any articles anymore, but they're doing a great job. YouTube.com/HorribleNightTV and Twitch.tv/HorribleNight is where we do all of our live stuff. And almost all of our video content happens live first. So check all that stuff out. And subscribe and write a review on iTunes if you hear us there. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Thanks, everyone in the chat. You guys are awesome. Thanks for talking shit. Mostly tonight. Not too bad. A little bit of normal conversation. But Ethan, you can go to bed now.
Thank you.
See you, Justin.
I hit a wall. All right. Good night, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.